This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime is for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey y'all, I don't know why it puts me like that. It's good to see y'all. I'm so glad y'all are here. Have to jump start that intro there, that last part. I don't know why when I click on it, it don't want to start. I have to kickstart that thing. It's good to see you, Abelis, Indie Girl, Cracker Jacks, Ashley, Jinja Snaps, Jenny Jen, Nonchalant, Enchilada, Allegedly Speculating, good to see you, Ashley, Aaron Beach Life. I'm sorry you got attacked, honey. That's awful. I'm so sorry. Good to see you, Fawny, Indy, Mallory Beavers, Cracker Jacks, Scratch the Paint, One Sunny Day, Cornish Gypsy. Good to see you. I think Marley Mum. I think that's all I see right now. Okay. So we're going to talk about the story of Victoria Martens. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, if you are faint of heart, if you, Amy, good to see you. And Edith, Rachel, Kate, good to see you. Nini Nut, good to see you. If you are faint of heart, if hearing about horrific, just awful, like this is the worst case I've ever come across. So, and I'm pretty, I mean, it's not, I don't know. I'm pretty tough, I guess. And it's hard for me to listen to this case. So I've got two videos here that we're going to look at first, and then we're going to listen to, sorry, I'm trying to get them pulled up. Doing too many things at once. Okay. So we're going to watch these two police narratives that I have put together first, and then we're going to go over what Jessica Kelly said at the hospital. Now, I don't think it's ever been released. I do think it might be in the court documents where they had trial, but that's the only place I've seen it, and I just found that. Hey, Heathen, good to see you. So Jessica Kelly is the main one that they think did this. Now, what was done to Victoria Martens is she was graped, she was murdered, and she was decapitated and set on fire on her 10th birthday. It's a horrendous story. We are looking into the possibility of false confessions with this case, as far as her mother goes, and kind of trying to figure out what really happened. We will go over the trial at some point, but for now, we are going to start with the first two police narratives, and then we'll go into what Miss Jessica Kelly said at the hospital about it. So I haven't released these on my page yet, so I'm going to be flipping back and forth between these two pages. Hey, bad girl. Good to see you. Veronica, good to see you. All right, so I'm going to mute, and then we're going to listen to this. And when we, yeah, okay, so we'll start with this. 2016, around 4:35, officers were on August 24th, 2016, around 4:35, officers were dispatched to 4701 Irving Boulevard Northwest, number 808 and number 407, in reference to a disturbance. The anonymous caller told 911 operators that she lives in apartment number 407. She said her female and male neighbors from apartment number 808 had come to her home with injuries and told her they were attacked by their friend. I arrived on scene with Officer Inyert, and we approached apartment number 407 to speak with the caller and other subjects. The door was answered, the female caller, and she pointed me to a male and a female just inside her front door. The male had a black eye, and the female had a large cut to her forehead. I then spoke to the female with the cut, who appeared afraid and was shaking. She stated that within the last few minutes, she was awoken by her friend Jessica. She said that Jessica had struck her in the head with an iron, but did not elaborate on what an iron was. Jessica then asked her, "Do you believe in God?" and struck her several more times. That was weird to me. Like, she said she was struck in the face with an iron, and the cop didn't know what an iron was. Like, hey, Indy, good to see you. I do have the air on just for now while we watch these two short videos. When we listen to Jessica Kelly and what she had to say, I'm going to turn it off, and Basil's in here, so I'm trying to keep him cool. So I do apologize about that. It'll only be on for about 10 minutes. The male subject with a black eye nodded in agreement as the female spoke, and he said that Jessica was still inside of their apartment, number 808, with their 10-year-old daughter. At this point, Officer Inyart and myself went to apartment number 808. As I approached the apartment, I walked up a flight of stairs on the outside. I got to the top of the stairs and observed a heavyset white female had opened the front door to apartment number 808. She was wearing a blue shirt and black pants. When this female opened the door, I announced that we were the police. The female went inside the door, closed it, and I heard a clicking sound consistent with the door locking. I ran to the door and tried to open it. The door opened a few inches, but was held by a locking latch about 6 feet high on the other side. I then made announcements into the small opening that we were the police and called for Jessica to come and open the front door. While I continued to make announcements, I heard someone from the parking lot below yell, quote, "That's her," unquote. I looked into the parking lot and observed the same white female who I saw open the front door. She was walking with a limp from around the north side of this apartment building. Officer Landavazo was on scene in the parking lot at this time. I told him to detain the female in the blue shirt. When he approached the female and tried to put her in handcuffs, she pulled away and yelled at him. I then went to help Officer Landavazo. He and Officer Inyart held the female's arms behind her back, and I placed her into handcuffs.
Come here. Come here. Come here.
I didn't do nothing.
Come here.
That's Jessica Kelly speaking to police in August 2016.
Hey, stop.
In the video, police confront Kelly, who is limping after jumping off a balcony.
Why'd you lock the door?
Somebody just started fire and went over the balcony, dude. APD officers were there initially that night after a call about a fire at the apartment where Victoria Martens lived with her mother, Michele, and her mother's boyfriend, Fabian Gonzales.
What were you fighting about?
She woke up and asked where her daughter was. I don't know where she's at, dude.
Okay. No, we got her. She's in another apartment. Did you hit her? Did you hit her?
Huh?
Did you hit somebody?
She hit me and I hit her back. As one officer talks to Kelly to get her side of the story, a couple of other officers go into the apartment, not knowing what they'll find. When they finally come out, their demeanor is changed. They seem upset.
Put her in your car, man. You're gonna
My
walk.
leg's broken. I just got thrown off the balcony.
You didn't get thrown up. You jumped off. I saw you close the door.
The officers then get a call.
Now, her leg is broken. She ended up needing surgery, and we will talk about that more in this case. But I have no issue. Keep in mind, those officers just walked in that apartment and found a 10-year-old child that had been decapitated and on fire in the bathtub. And they saw, I mean, obviously she's got something to do with it because she ran into the apartment, locked the door, jumped off the balcony, and is now down there in police custody. I think they had every right to be angry with her. The logistics as far as the state of, or the county of Albuquerque in the state of New Mexico, I don't know if they got sued. I don't know that much about it yet. I haven't looked that far into it, trying to get these videos out for you guys. But I mean, I probably would have done the same thing and more. It would have been hard for me to keep my hands off of her. I'll say that right now. And hey, Casey and Spread the Love, thank you for being here. If everybody doesn't mind, please hit the thumbs up so we get out into the algorithm. Thank you so much.
Call from dispatch.
Can you advise what we're looking at here? Male, female, closed reading?
Walk.
No.
Female 10.
No. Before they reach the officer's car, Kelly tells them there was another person with her in the apartment.
Who else was in the apartment with you? Where's the other guy?
He took coffee. He started trying to wipe blood up, and I started panicking.
Who's the other guy?
I don't know his name. They call him a puppy.
Officers on scene still had not found the 10-year-old female, and I was worried about her safety.
Those of you that speak Spanish, what does apote mean? I think she said they call him apote. I would love to know what that means. Hey, Rhonda, Casey, Yeah, Casey, I'm sorry that you were in that area. I remember seeing it on the news and I was like, oh my God. Like, yeah, I agree. Everyone failed this little girl and it is really sad. Hey, Linda. Good to see you, love. At this time, I heard the fire alarm sounding from apartment number 808. I ran to the apartment with Officer Inyart and the door was still locked. Fearing for the safety of the female child, who still may be inside the apartment, I used my feet to kick open the door and made entry into the apartment. I saw a kitchen to the immediate forward from the doorway. I then made my way to the right again and into a large bedroom. I did not see anyone in that large bedroom area. I then made my way into the bathroom attached to the large bedroom and did not see anyone inside. I then went back into the living room and went to a hallway opposite of the large bedroom. I went to the left and into a small bedroom. I did not see anyone inside of this room. I then went into the bathroom next to this bedroom. Once inside the bathroom, I observed a female child wrapped in a blanket and on fire while lying in the bathtub. I asked Officer Inyart if he had a fire extinguisher in his car. I then went to the living room and found a blanket on the floor. I went back to the bathroom and I used my hands wrapped with the blanket to put out the fire surrounding the female. The female appeared unconscious and did not move. The skin on her right leg was blackened and appeared to be burned from the fire. Her leg appeared to have been severed and removed from her body at the middle of the thigh. I stepped into the living room area where there was less smoke and advised dispatch of the female and to have rescue arrive as quick as possible. I left the blanket on the floor in the bathroom and stepped out of the apartment at this time. She said they call him Apolte? Apolte? I don't know how you would spell it. I don't know I'm wondering what that nickname is. What, Apolte? That's what it sounded like. I then met with Officer Landavazo and requested that he place the female in the blue shirt into his police vehicle. The female then stated that her leg was broken from jumping off the rear balcony of the apartment. I assisted Officer Landavazo with holding the female up by her arms and walked her to his vehicle. She said that her name was Jessica Kelly. She was placed into the vehicle. I had no further contact with Jessica, the female caller, or the female with the injury to her head, or the male with the black eye. I then spoke to Lieutenant Ong, who took over scene responsibilities at this time. He ordered me to block the entrance to the complex to the south at Ivering Boulevard Northwest. I remained at that post until I was relieved by Officer Harrison. I spoke to detectives from the Violent Crimes Unit and CACU to explain the above. I had no other involvement with the investigation of this case. I'm going to go back and play just that part where she says Apolte on August 24th, so we can try to figure out what that word means. Okay. It's like right at the end here, she says there was another guy, he was wiping blood off, and the cops say, what's his name? And she says they call him, I don't know, they call him Apolte. I'm going to play it in mute.
What they'll find. When they finally come out, their demeanor is changed. They seem upset.
Put it in your car, man. You're going to walk.
Broken. I just got thrown off the balcony.
You didn't get thrown off. You jumped off. I saw you close the door.
The officers then get a call from dispatch.
Can you advise what we're looking at here? Male, female, close breathing?
Walk.
No.
Female 10.
No.
Before they reach the officer's car, Kelly tells them there was another person with her
Right
in the
here.
apartment.
Who else was in the apartment with you?
Another guy.
Where's the other guy?
He took off. He started trying to wipe blood up. And I started panicking.
Who's the other guy?
I don't know his name. They call him a puppy.
Officers on
call him a
scene still had not found the
sounds like
10-year-old
Polpe.
female, and I was worried about her safety.
Okay, I was trying to get these two videos together, but it wouldn't let me. So let me get the second one, and then we'll listen to what Jessica Kelly said to the police while she was in the hospital. Okay. Hold on just a minute. Hey, Tony. Good to see you, love.
August 24th, 2016, around 4:35, officers were dispatched to 4701 Irving Boulevard Northwest, number 808 and number 407, in reference to a disturbance. The anonymous caller told 911 operators that she lives in apartment number 407. She said her female and male neighbors from apartment number 808 had come to her home with injuries and told her they were attacked by their friend. I arrived on scene with Officer Inyart, and we approached apartment number 407 to speak with the caller and other subjects. The door was answered, the female caller, and she pointed me to a male.
Hold on, that was the first video. Sorry, I was replaying the daggum first one. Hold on. That's it. Okay, so this is the second one. I apologize about that. Oh, hold on. I thought I had it pulled up and I didn't. Hold on. Happy Good Friday, y'all. I mean, it's not really happy. It's the day that Jesus was put in prison, I suppose, but I hope you're enjoying your Good Friday. Hey, Carolina, good to see you. All right, so this is the second one. I do apologize.
I was dispatched to the Aurora Villas Apartments, reference a possible battery at 4:35 a.m. The caller stated a violent disturbance had occurred near Building 4. Officer Sennett and Officer Inyart arrived on scene prior to my arrival. On police radio, the officers on scene advised the initial disturbance occurred at Building 8 in apartment 808.
I apologize. I did have a question and I forgot to answer it, and it'll give you a little bit more information. So Jessica Kelly had been released from prison, I think, exactly a week before this happened. Her cousin, Fabian, was dating a girl named Michele Martens. So Michele Martens has an apartment. Michele Martens has a daughter named Victoria, and she has a son named Matthew. And they live in this apartment. Victoria Martens gets on Plenty of Fish and finds this guy named Fabian, and they start talking and dating. Okay, Fabian moves in with Michele Martens. Fabian's cousin, Jessica Kelly, gets out of prison, and Fabian says, you can come stay with us. And so Jessica Kelly, Michele Martens, and Fabian are all three the adults living in an apartment with the little girl, Victoria Martens, and then there's a little boy that visits when he's not with his dad. So she was living in the apartment with them. Now, the story is that Jessica got her off the bus. The little girl went to her friend's house for her birthday. Fabian and the little girl's mom leave to go to Fabian's uncle's house to go get some marijuana, and Jessica had some methamphetamine, and she does the methamphetamine, and then when they get back, she brings the little girl down the steps, carrying her, and then what happens after that, we're not sure. I'm going to put out some more police narratives on that. We're going to listen to what Jessica's story is, and we've talked about what Michele said and what Fabian said, but if we have time, we can look into that today too. This is the second police narrative.
As I drove up about 4:44 a.m., I observed two officers walking up the steps towards apartment 808. I walked up to the building. As I approached, I observed Officer Inyart and Officer Sennett making announcements and knocking on the door of apartment 808.
Yes, she also had a sexual offense charge, so she was not supposed to be there with the little girl because she had just gotten out of jail on some sexual relations with a minor or something like that, sexual molestation of a minor. That's what she had just got out of prison for. And we're going to hear a little bit more about that when we listen to her audio from the from the hospital.
Just as I reached the bottom of the stairs, I observed a female walking from around the corner, coming from the north side of Building 8. The female was stumbling and began to walk by me, walking south. As the female approached me, Officer Sennett stated to detain the female. I grabbed hold of the female's left arm. The female stated, quote, "I did not do nothing," unquote.
Come here.
I didn't do nothing.
Come here.
And, quote, "They pushed me through the window," unquote. As I held the female's left wrist, she stated, quote, "I'm scared, you guys," unquote. And at this point, Officer Sennett and Officer Inyart quickly approached. The female was placed into wrist restraints and she sat in the grass at the curb. At this time, I heard the fire alarm sound from apartment 808. I stayed with the female as Officer Sennett and Officer Inyart returned to the apartment. While the officers were inside, I spoke briefly with the female. I asked if she jumped from the second floor balcony, and the female responded, stating, quote, "I fell off the top," unquote.
Somebody just started a fire and I went over the balcony, dude.
The female complained of a leg injury, stating she heard it when she jumped from the balcony. I asked the female what they were fighting about. She stated, quote, "She woke up and asked where her daughter was," unquote. The female stated she responded by stating, quote, "I don't know where she's at, dude."
What were you fighting about?
She woke up and asked where her daughter was.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where she's at, dude.
Unquote. I asked the female if she hit somebody. The female stated, quote, "She hit me, so I hit her back," unquote.
Did you hit her? Did you hit her?
Huh?
Did you hit somebody?
She hit me and I hit her back.
I asked who the apartment belonged to, and the female stated it belongs to her cousin Fabian and his girlfriend, Michele. I asked if she was fighting with Michele. The female said Michele woke up, and the female began screaming, quote, "I can't find your daughter, dude," unquote. At this time, Officer Sennett and Officer Inyart emerged from the apartment and stated the female needed to be placed in the police vehicle urgently, stating a child was found deceased in the apartment. The female was escorted to the area in front of the office. I drove my police car to this area, and the female was detained in the rear of my patrol vehicle. While I interviewed and escorted the female, I noticed red on her blue top. I also noticed what appeared to be blood on her fingernails and hands. Once the female was secured in my patrol vehicle, I made contact with Officer Inyart. He told me 2 of the subjects at apartment 406 were the residents of apartment 808. I went to apartment 406 and secured these 2 subjects in 2 separate police vehicles. The subjects were later identified as Fabian Gonzales and Michele Martens. Both were cooperative, and I did not question either subject at all. Only placed them in patrol cars, and I had no further contact. I spoke with the female in an attempt to get her name while she was in my police vehicle. She advised her first name was Jess. I asked several times for her last name. Each time I received a different version of her last name. She gave me a date of birth of 1981. AFD did evaluate the female's injury, and it was determined she would be transported to UNMH by ambulance. I followed the ambulance to UNMH in my patrol car at about 5:52 a.m. We arrived at the hospital at about 6:22 a.m. While at UNMH, I was provided the subject's name as being Jessica Kelly, with a date of birth 1984. Jessica was placed in emergency room number ED8. I escorted as Jessica was taken for an imaging via a CT scan and X-ray. I was advised by a nurse that her ankle was broken and would require a visit to an orthopedics section of the hospital. I remained at UNMH until relieved by another officer at about 8:41 a.m. I had no further contact with Jessica after my initial interaction in the back seat of my patrol car. On August 24th, 2016 at 4:54, I was dispatched to 4701 Irvine Boulevard Northwest in reference to a homicide. Upon my arrival, I met with Sergeant Marr, who requested I respond to Presbyterian Rust Hospital and photograph the victim, Michele Martens. I responded to Presbyterian Rust Hospital and took overall mid-range and close-up photographs of Michele Martens' injuries with and without a scale. Michele had a laceration down the bridge of her nose, a laceration on the back of her head, a laceration on her right wrist, a laceration at her nose, a laceration at the first knuckle of her left index finger. Her forehead appeared swollen above her left eyebrow. She had an abrasion on the left side of the back of her neck, an abrasion on her left shoulder, and abrasions on both of her knees. I responded to Crime Lab and copied the photographs to a CD, and then responded to Criminalistics van at 4701 Irvine Boulevard and turned 1 CD of still images into Detective Lasker. Detective Lasker requested I return to Presbyterian Rust Hospital and collect Michele's clothing. I returned to the hospital and collected Michele's t-shirt, her shorts, and her bra from hospital staff. Hospital staff provided me with a chain of custody form releasing the clothing to me. I returned to the Criminalistics van at 4701 Irvine Boulevard Northwest and turned the clothing and chain of custody form into Detective Lasker.
Okay. So I'm still working on getting the audio. I have the audio from the hospital. Let me turn this off. But it's just an audio. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull up where she's testifying at Fabian's trial I'm going to put that on so you have something to look at while we're listening to it. And we're going to listen. There was 3 audios. The first one, let me type this in real quick. The first one, they're talking about her medication. Evidently, she's asleep. And the police want to question her, but she's still asleep and she's on a bunch of pain medication. So they ask her again in a few minutes. So I'm just going to play the 3 audios as they came to me in my FOIA request, and we will watch her testify at Fabian's trial, which I do want to go through the trials with you guys because I haven't ever watched them. So let me pull this up. Now, again, remember, this audio that I'm going to play is not going to match what you see on the screen. It's just giving us something to look at. I do think this was during COVID. So she's got the mask on, unfortunately. Hey, Genevieve. Excuse me. Nonchalant, thank you so much for the super sticker. It's a little pear with some hearts. Aw, so cute. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, this one's real interesting. It happened in 2016. Yeah, crimes like this are why the death penalty exists, but I'll ask, this was in New Mexico. Yeah. Hey, Orange Rose. Also, real quick, so tomorrow tomorrow night, I've got all this stuff together. So I'm going to do a members only live stream showing you guys how to make goat's milk lotion and goat's milk soap. So if you're not a member and that's something you might be interested in, make sure you become a member before tomorrow evening. I plan on live streaming it, but it being for like only where members only can view it. I've got to figure out how to do that, but that's my plan on that. Indy and Genevieve and everybody, it's good to see y'all and thank you for being here. All right, so I'm going to mute this and I'm going to pull up on my phone the audio that I have because I haven't finished doing an overlay for it, and we will see what Jessica said at the hospital. All right. So let me set this phone where y'all can hear it. Let me know if it's like too loud or you can't hear it all the way. Hold on.
It's now 7:08 p.m.
Okay.
I'm on the record. It's August 24th, 2016. It's now 7:08 p.m.
Hey, Ginger.
Myself and Detective Gautam are at the UNM hospital.
So yes, I'm going to be using raw goat's milk. I literally go out and milk a goat, and then I take the milk from the goat, and that's what we're going to be using. Oh, Abellis, thank you for gifting 20 memberships. I really appreciate that. That was very sweet of you. I can't tell you who they went to because I'm not looking at my live on my phone. But if you were gifted from Abellis and you are aware you were gifted, please tell her thank you. I really appreciate that, Abellis. And I will play the Polar Express and grab that train and come pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much, Abellis. Thank you again, Abellis. That was so sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. I saw that Irene came in, and I wanted to say hey to you. Aw. I don't think you're screwing up. I haven't seen anything. I think everything's okay. I don't know what's going on, but if you have issues with somebody in chat, you can block them so you don't have to argue with them and fight. Let's all get along and sing Kumbaya. All right, here we go. Thank you again, Abellis. That was really sweet of you.
Yeah, I'm on the record. It's August 24th, 2016. It's now 7:08 p.m. Myself and Detective Gautam are at the UNM hospital here to speak with Jessica Kay. It's a homicide that occurred this morning at 4701 Irving, apartment 808.
Hey guys. So in this one, they're just going to talk to the nurse for about 5 minutes. Linda, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. I can't see what it is, but thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, Hannah, hey, it's good to see you. I don't think so, sweetheart. If you having issues with somebody in chat, just block them. I haven't heard you say anything wrong or seen you say anything wrong. And I haven't seen anybody. I haven't seen you fighting with anybody, so I don't know. But I haven't seen anything. Thank you so much, Linda. That was so sweet. And Abellis and everybody. Y'all are being so sweet and supportive. I love y'all so much. Hey, Kimmy C123. Thank you so much.
So who's taking care of this? Can you tell me if she has any medications on board? Yeah, because I want to be sure.
It's not very good. So they might take it either night or tomorrow.
It's hard to understand.
Repair. But for drugs, they give her a lot of ammo. I didn't have a chance to chart it.
So when I first saw her, she was in, and all of a sudden, later, where am I?
I didn't get to chart it.
They're just right now.
So basically, I know it's hard to understand what they're going to talk about, and I'm going to let it play, is that they're giving her Dilaudid and something to keep her sedated. So they're given a time period of when the medications should start wearing off so they can talk to her.
She's got a incontinence cup that is stuck in there, and it's been in there way too long. So they're in a procedure right now trying to yank it all out. So they sit her with her. She's been cooperative. We check her defender. She's saying it makes her get out. 10.
It's a painkiller, though. A narcotic painkiller.
That's like when you connected her cold stuff.
Huh? 1840. 1850, actually. So 650, so probably 20 minutes ago. The issue with that is she actually metabolizes it rather quickly. They get it into her every 2 hours. How do they feel right now? When they give her probably another 15 minutes, she'll fight. She'll wake up. She's never been not with it. Multiple times in a year. Okay. Except when I give her Ativan and Dilaudid, and then we did a sleep.
Okay. I just got to make sure that she's completely lucid and knows exactly what's going on. So
you have another 2 hours before she's going to do her pain meds, so we'll make sure and hold them so you can watch her.
So in your opinion, would you say that within about 15 minutes or so we can do it? Yes?
Yes. The way she's been doing, the way she's been going.
Hey, Michael.
And she'll come back and this time she's gotten a little more used to the Dilaudid.
Cool.
Can we get your name? Sarah Martens. I'm all over her door. Oh. Nice to meet you.
Sarah?
Okay, I'll skip. I see you, Miss King of Anything, saying the sound is bad. So I'll skip past this one. Basically, they're just asking, when they can question her, saying she's on pain medication. There's 2 5-minute clips, and then where she starts talking, you'll be able to hear it really good. I know Irene said thank you, and we appreciate you. And I just wanted to say I appreciate y'all. Y'all helped me out so much just by hitting the subscribe and the thumbs up. I mean, you helped me out tremendously. Like I went to the store today and was able, I'm just really appreciative of you guys hanging out with me and subscribing and hitting the thumbs up. I just can't express how thankful I am for that. So I really appreciate y'all, and I love our family. This is the second hospital clip. If you can't hear it that well, I'll tell you what it says, and then we'll get into the third hospital clip, which is about an hour, and she's actually talking.
Okay, we're on the record. It's August 24th, 2016, 7:25 p.m. We're at UNMH with Detective Connerman and I. We're here to speak with Jessica Kelly in reference to the homicide investigation at 4701 Irving Boulevard, Northeast, Apartment 808. And speaking with the nurse.
Sarah.
They redacted the nurse's name, and I haven't been able to cut out that redaction because it was late and I had headphones on, and when I try to do it with headphones, there's a delay. So it should come back in just a second. This is Victoria Martens from 2016. She was, I mean, you can read in the description. It's a horrible case, like the worst one I've ever come across.
Appreciate it, man.
So we're doing things for you consider back here.
Yeah, I'm right knocking it. So I put some 26. Great. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Bye. Hi. Go this way. Hi. What's your name, man? Okay. My name is Detective Brown with Albuquerque Police Department. How are you today? Good? Well, not too good. In there?
Sorry.
Yeah? Okay. Do you know why you're here today?
Well, I know that something happened.
Okay. All right.
I don't really know what too much happened, but I know something happened.
All right. You mind talking on this with me?
I want to know what's going on.
All right. Well, before I tell you, all right, I just have to advise you of your rights, all right? I'm investigating an incident, homicide incident, about 4701 Irving, all right, from this morning. All right, actually, the incident actually took place late last night into this morning. Okay. Would you like to talk to me about that? Because if you would, I just need advice of your rights.
Well, I don't want a lawyer.
Okay. So let me just advise you your rights real quick, then we can get on the record, okay? So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court, okay? You have the right to an attorney, which you've already asked for one. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, okay? At any time, you can stop answering my questions, and obviously you don't want to talk to me, period. All right? Those are your rights, okay? Do you have any questions for me?
I don't know what happened.
All right. 10-year-old girl, okay, was murdered. All right? And you asked for an attorney. So what am I talking to you? All right? But you will be charged with murder and several other things, okay? All right? All right. Well, I appreciate your time. Okay? All right. We'll go off the record at 7:28 p.m.
Okay, this next one, I was screen recording and I had walked up to water the garden because it's like an hour long, okay? And Mr. Speculating came, as soon as I came in and sat back down to stop the recording, he said, "What was that?" I said, "It is an interrogation or where this girl Jessica Kelly speaking." And he was like, "Well, that was really bad. There's a lot of cussing and it's just really bad." So I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, because I hadn't heard it. And I tried to listen to it last night, but I fell asleep. So I want to go ahead and warn you that evidently it's really, really bad. Like she cusses and there's a bunch of mess going on. So I'm warning you now. I haven't listened to all of it. It's probably going to be bad." Hey, Real Pocahontas. Another thing that I noticed is like every news clip they have where she's talking, the news expresses how vulgar she is and how she cusses a lot and how she's real nasty. So that I'm just giving everybody a blanket warning. So this is the hour-long one.
Warrant. So when we're done, you can take all the time you want to read the warrant. We just want to get your process.
Well, I want to read this warrant because you already started your
You can get it,
process.
and here's the, we have a warrant, and we're not required to let you read the whole thing before we do it. So we need to get your process so we can move on,
So
and then we'll leave you a
I'm
copy.
leaving this copy with you. This is all yours. But we're taking your DNA. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're going to take your DNA. Okay?
Well, you can have my damn DNA. What the hell? What are you going to do with that? I want to know why I'm being treated like this.
Again,
Again.
you're being arrested. All right? For murder.
Why am I being arrested for murder?
You don't want to talk about it. Because you don't want to talk about it. You asked for an attorney. All right,
There's
so
3 other people in the house. You're getting me for murder?
we've arrested other people too.
Like who? It's like I'm the only one arrested.
No.
All right, so let's go ahead and get you processed, okay? And then you can read this on your own time, and then you can get rest, okay? Yeah,
The sooner we get this done, the sooner I can get this to you. You can read it.
So this will be like the same time that you've done it before. It's like brushing your teeth.
Give me that then. Like, fuck. Been treated like shit this whole fucking time for something else. This is bullshit. Bullshit. And this is all because of you? Really? Shit. You're like fucking violating my whole fucking rights, dude.
You know, Kate said, treated like this, ma'am, you are being treated 100% better than you should have been treated. Exactly. Considering what they found in that apartment, I understand that her leg was like broken and it's a horrible break. Like she ended up having to have surgery, but I wouldn't have been giving her no damn Dilaudid. I'd have been giving her a damn ibuprofen, 800 milligrams. Ma'am, you're going to have to deal with it. What that little girl go through. Stop it.
Yeah, for what? For what, dude?
You need to do that.
For what? Serious. Go find a motherfucking killer, dude. Go find a motherfucking killer.
So Jessica, just so you know, and we don't want to argue with you, and it's your right to not say anything. If there's some questions that I can answer for you, I'd be more than happy to clarify something for you. Okay, based on the evidence of the scene, based on the interviews that we did, and the witnesses that we interviewed, and the other people that are charged, we have probable cause to charge you with murder. Okay, so it is your right not to talk. We want you to get your side of the story, of course, to see if, maybe you had a different story than them or had something else to say to maybe explain something. But we can only go on what the other people are saying and the witnesses and the clients.
That's hearsay, right?
Okay, I'm sorry?
That's hearsay.
So, based on what we know, what we're required to have is called probable cause, and that's what you're being booked on, okay? Later, obviously you'll have an attorney in court, and your attorney can work out anything like that, and hearsay, whatever, I'm not gonna talk lawyer terms with you and discuss that. Stuff comes later. But I just want to let you know, we get the complaint or that you're going to be booked on, or the arrest warrant is approved by an attorney and all that. So, okay, and we'll leave you a copy of the search warrant, and it's been explained.
Explains everything as far as why we're here and what I wanted to ask you.
So we're just doing our jobs. We're not judging you just because you get charged.
You guys did judge me at the time. I've been judged this whole time.
Nobody's judging you. I don't know you. Okay, we're just doing our job. Okay?
I'm gonna try to be as calm as possible. But you keep asking me, okay, I just fucking broke my leg. I'm gonna fucking get up. And I'm gonna get fucked. I don't like fucking cops. Let you know. I told you I just discharged from fucking prison. Alright? And if that was a fucking reason why they took me to let me stay there, is for this bullshit. It's bullshit. My cousin and that lady told me I could stay there. In the other room. Where's her son at?
Just swab your hands while you're talking to them, okay?
So again, while you read that, if you have questions, even though you lawyered up, you can still contact when you get an attorney. You can answer questions.
I just want to know why I'm being charged for murder. Yes, we're all there. But is there any evidence linking me to that murder? Seriously.
You tell me.
You tell me.
If you want to talk about the case, I'm more than happy to.
No.
All right. Well, like I said, if you change your mind after you read that search warrant, feel free to contact me through your attorney if you get one, and then we can get a statement on the record.
So she's asking, what do you have on me for the homicide, right? Like, does she not remember? I mean, I don't like, the stories are all different. All three of them have different stories, and I'm not sure that we'll ever know. I know that Michelle, the mother, got charged for 12 years. Jessica Kelly was facing 50 years, but I have not seen what her charge actually was, what she actually ended up getting. Hey, LJ. Since Lori Daybell doesn't have court, wish y'all happy Easter weekend. Also, belated thank you. Aw. Y'all are so sweet. Happy Easter, everybody.
Okay. Other than that, talk to you about it.
You guys have all my clothes, everything.
Hey, Sharada. Yep.
Oh my God, dude. What's the see a copy of it? You guys already doing your searching? Yeah, you want to get in and everything.
Are you gonna let her finish?
Come on, dude.
Okay.
You think I'm not fucking done? Been there, done that already.
Did you already photograph it? I photographed it. Okay, so this is her copy. Yes. Can I see what it? Did you wanna?
That's right. The judge said it. Put the tape.
Yeah. Here you go.
Just reading the warrant. It's hot here today, too.
How bad did they say your leg was?
I'm gonna have to have surgery. My back is fucked up too. My head is fucked up too.
Yeah.
It's main fucking part. I'll just put some shit like that on me.
Yep.
I listen to a bunch of motherfucking little dumb bitches. Especially my cousin. I'm fucking him that fucking did it, little sick fuck.
Here.
So what's next?
Give it here.
Okay.
I'm gonna, we might go over the, if we have time, we'll go over the interrogation of Michele Martens, because there's issues with her. There's issues with her interrogation and what she said. Her mental capacity was an issue.
Okay, so I'm gonna step out and do some privacy. You good with that? All right.
Just but you know how sometimes you go out there and it's
I don't have to get tweezers there to pull my shit out.
so just have her do a swab.
I'm very good person on how to do it. The thing is, I live at the house.
Hold on just a second. Sorry about that.
It is gonna be a house.
Do you guys have like so swab or the thing like I had? Did you see the? Yeah, I get some for you. I'll be right back. Okay. She's completely there, so we're just gonna do a swab. But I ran a swab, so she's gonna get me one that's packaged just like. She could. Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna step in.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm gonna put this back. Or if you know this, want to sit down?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I can do that.
She had to go get some swabs. Because she doesn't have any hair to pull really, so.
Yeah.
So we'll just swab. She can just swab down there. Either she can do it, or we can have, probably really can have a nurse do it or something. See if we'll collect this. And they can get a good vaginal swab rather than,
Sorry.
I think that would be better. Ask the nurse if they'll do the vaginal swab.
I agree. I think she deserved every bit of what she got. Because, I mean, it's pretty much, from what I understand, she was in the room while it happened.
While we're waiting to get all that stuff done, you've been fingerprinted before? Yeah. So we're gonna do that, except we're gonna do the whole hand.
I've been fingerprinted.
I know it's this. I don't know.
Well, am I being actually charged it? Why me? Why am I the only suspect? Then who's gonna fucking suspect? Why am I going down for this shit?
Answer your question. I can't talk to you about it.
It's not signed either.
That's for the nighttime search. The warrant signed on the front.
Yeah, but
We don't.
to be actually give it to me like this, it's supposed to be signed.
So I'm trying to
Yeah, it's signed.
Why are you trying to put my old record? That shit, I'm done and sealed. I'm not shit too, motherfucker. Shit. She can't be pulling out my tires. It's just your tires. Fucking taking you full fucking credit. Pussy.
So this is the cousin. This is Jessica Kelly. I'll try to scoot this ahead so you can see her. She is the one with the broken leg who is talking. So it is the one that with the broken leg that is talking right now. And she is the cousin that supposedly, she was supposedly in the room when everything happened. Back it up and play her again. Okay. This is her with the broken leg. Talking.
You got your information for my old charges. For all this. Why are my old charges in here? I want to know why my old charges that I just discharged from are in this. What old charges? I'm telling you right here from 2008. Why are my old charges in this affidavit?
That's not your own charges.
Yes, they are.
Listen.
Following up an investigation following crimes, including sexual penetration, contact with minors and adults, sexual penetration. Come on, dude. I'm not fucking dumb. You guys read through my motherfucking paperwork. Why is my shit here? I'm already done by the fucking state. I got my certificate on that.
It's the history of my experience up there. That has nothing to do with you.
Excuse me. So her leg got broken because after she sat there and watched this child be raped and then they decapitated her and set her on fire in the bathtub, she locked the door. When the police came knocking on the door, she went out the back and jumped off a balcony and broke her leg. Now, that part that you just heard where she's talking about, first of all, she says, why are my old charges here from 2008 that I've already served time on? and she mentions sexual penetration, sexual contact with minors, sexual penetration, and things like that. So that's what she had just got out of jail on. She references having a certificate. However, that is not what it is. I don't know, you guys, we've read through some of the Stearns documents, and when we go to warrants and it says your affiant has been trained by the police academy for X amount of years, they have been trained in robbery, burglary, child pornography, how to identify it, how to know what child pornography is, all of those things. That's what it's saying. It's saying the person applying for the search warrant has training in all of these things. So it's not her charge, and that's what he's trying to say. He's trying to say your affiant, because it says on the paperwork, your affiant has training in burglary, robbery. Your affiant has arrested suspects that have hurt children, that have committed homicides and things like that. She does have a potty mouth, and she's definitely not the brightest crayon in the box, in my opinion.
No, if you read the whole thing, it has nothing to do with you.
Affiant means the writer of the warrant, and he's saying affiant has experience in writing warrants and investigations in those crimes.
You know, whether the fact that you were convicted of the criminal sexual penetration of a minor has nothing to do with that affiant stuff. That's my experience.
See what you just said? You read my paperwork, you just don't know the motherfucking thing.
We just said it.
No. Shit, I just tested what you were gonna say.
It doesn't matter whether anybody read through your stuff or not.
Kate, thank you for becoming a member. That's so awesome. I'm so glad that you became a member, and you'll be able to watch the live stream tomorrow night. I will grab the crazy train and pick you up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you. I was going to play it twice for you. Thank you, Kate. That was so sweet of you. Oh, Lord, girl, I've been trying to pull information on that case, but because Audrey Cunningham was a minor, I haven't been able to get anything since it hasn't gone to court yet. But yeah, you just jumped on the crazy train. Oh, yeah. Okay.
They were in.
Oh, yeah, we'll sit down.
Pretty much a name here. Thank you, Kate.
What do you need?
Oh, there's 7 ounces of chicken.
Oh.
Good job, man.
This shit's all about me.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at what page you're reading and see if I can clarify something for you.
I'm something about Amanda.
Yes. That's what I've heard. Hey, Roxanne. And that's what I'll pause that. Carolina said, my speculation is that Jessica Kelly and her drug dealer friend were both smoking methamphetamine, both SA'd and killed Victoria. He left her to clean up and get rid of the body. Exactly. That's what I think happened. Michele Martens I'm hoping that we'll have enough time to go over her interrogation, and it's horrific what she says. But if you watch at the end, she doesn't understand why she's being arrested. And when you hear the interrogation, you're like, ma'am, how would you think that you wouldn't be arrested? Oh my God, look at what you just said. But she's not cognitively all there. That's how her daughter was able to be taken advantage of from these people. We're going to deep dive all of this because, like I said, I've been pulling a lot of information. I've been interested in this case and wanting to understand it. And we're going to talk about false confessions in this case. But my theory is that, yeah, Jessica Kelly was the main one. And how she was able to do it was because she got Victoria off the bus. Fabian and Michele left to go get marijuana from his uncle. And during that time period, something happened while Jessica was there with the little girl. And they come back and basically Victoria's already deceased, but they don't find out until several hours later. Yeah, she's got a sick past. And I'm going to work on putting an overlay over this and putting it out on my channel so that you guys can listen to it without me and speed it up or whatever. I just pulled it last night. I actually recorded it yesterday afternoon, so I've got to finish doing the videos. I was working on the main two that we watched last night. I hate that beeping, but they're in the hospital, so there's not much I can do about it. It was her birthday. It was her 10th birthday, y'all. Oh, yeah, Audrey. Yeah. That's another methamphetamine case. Well, there's another male's DNA, so we don't know. Jessica Kelly and another man. The girl of the screed and the girl of the thumbnail is who did it. But Fabian and Michele need to be held accountable too because she had just got out of prison for sexual assault on a minor and they let her move in. No, I'm not either. I want to make that clear, but that's the story. Hey, Nessa. Yep, pretty much. That's why I was asking what the name was. Apolte? I hope they find him. They've got his DNA. But if he left the country, then who knows if he'll ever be found. Like I said, I haven't listed all of this. I would have cut this part out, but Carolina said to all three interrogations and have noticed inconsistencies between Fabian and Michele are genuine, unlike Jessica Kelly. Yep. Yep. Oh, that machine stopped beeping. See, I want to put out all the information I get on this because I FOIA'd all of it, everything. And then go through the trial with you guys and see what y'all think at the end. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, she was referencing her charges, sexual assault on a minor. But while she was
raping her daughter, that's what it's saying?
Hold on. I'll back that up. While she was in prison, she assaulted another female inmate with a damn mop broom or some shit. Like, she's twisted. All right, I backed it up a little bit.
So we've been raping her daughter, that's what it's saying?
What's that?
We were raping her daughter? Is that what that's what it's saying is?
That's what is alleged.
Alleged. Is it proven?
Mm-hmm. Well, so the difference between, so the standard for an arrest or booking someone is probable cause. Okay, which means more likely than not, a reasonable person would believe that this person is guilty of this crime based on what we have at this point. And then, later on, the standard is different for in a trial for guilt.
I know.
So at this point, there's probable cause for the search warrant. There's probable cause for the arrest. The reason that we collect all this evidence too is because the major case prints, like we're going to get fingerprints and DNA, is to compare to the actual evidence that we have at the scene. So this will also tell us, does this match what other people are saying about you? It could help you. May not help you, but we need to do it to be thorough. Okay.
Orange. Aw. Orange Rose, thank you. Thank you for sharing your milestone with us. That was so very sweet of you. I appreciate you doing that. Orange said, my favorite crown is brick red. I wonder what Vanessa's was. I'm not sure, but I saw a lot of videos from the news where they had like a memorial outside of the apartment complex for Victoria, and there was a lot of purple. So I think purple was one of her favorite colors.
Can you go my nurse and see if I can actually have water yet?
You want me to ask your nurse if you can have water?
Yes, so
Sure.
I have water.
Yeah.
She is a lunatic.
Let's know from the nurse if she can have water. Okay, when we're done, everything will get you some water.
Right.
Fuck!
Sorry.
Sorry, hon, I forgot. We can't let you eat or drink anything just because we're following the pulses in your foot, and if that got worse, they would have to do surgery. So we can't let you eat or drink anything.
Ice chips, at least
Like
just
ice chips.
dry my mouth.
We got some little swabs that we can give you though for that. That'll help get your mouth wet.
Oh my goodness, dude.
We can't really pee the light in the whole deal or not? Yeah, I want the light. Another green one. You don't have what you need. You want me to put it in that?
It depends,
Yes.
Nessa. There has to be a trial to have him declared dead, Nessa.
Do you understand what we're doing here, huh?
No, no.
Okay, so my understanding is the officers have a warrant to get a vaginal swab from you. Let's just take a Q-tip. of stuff in your vagina. As the doctor, they've asked me to do it. So, you've had a pelvic exam, a female exam before? Yeah. It's the same thing. I'm just not doing the pap smear and all of that, but we put you in the same position.
Why are they doing that though?
That I can't answer. I'm just telling you what I'm gonna do. So we'll get you in the spirits. And
there's one for my mouth.
do you want me to explain what I'm gonna do?
Just do it already. Yeah, I'm in fucking pain, dude.
Oh my God.
Can I have a fucking drink of fucking water and sitting here in pain?
You did it. You jumped off the balcony.
What the fuck? Man! Dude! Make a motherfucker go crazy. Shit! Fucking all the time, fucking eat shit too.
Just get dressed underneath there.
Sorry.
My cuffs, you're gonna have to lose these cuffs because it's gonna pull my arms so you guys lift them up. It's not like I can move and run anymore. Let me see. Fuck, man.
So Josh, she said her pubic hair is not long enough. Maybe if you take a tweezer, so they're going to do the swab instead, unless you want them to try and, if there is.
I'm gonna need help pull my body on top of this.
Yeah, if there is enough.
Did you see it with absolutely like no hair?
I didn't want to.
I'll let you know.
Because there's hair, I'd rather just pull fucking hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if not, then we're gonna have to do this swap.
Okay.
You should be a dumb fuck.
Hey, Amanda, Amy's gonna come in.
You want to be a lack. It needs to be sterile. But we want you to see her. Well, I don't think you're sterile, so I feel like it.
Amanda, why don't you go in there and Amy?
Crying on the stand. Stop it. She ain't got no feelings.
After this, can I get something for pain?
Yeah, just under pain. You're not allergic to any medicines?
No.
Is it your foot that's hurting?
My foot and my back and my hands. Maybe my back and my leg and my hand and my foot. Oh.
I wouldn't give her. I'm telling you, I wouldn't give her nothing for pain. Ibuprofen. That's it. That's all. Suffer. When they open that curtain, it's loud. Sorry. Nope.
So we're gonna need help with the legs, and then she's gonna need help kind of scooping her whole body.
That's
a little bit ass. So
I went on to be doing this.
Oh, wow. Tanya. Hello. Good to see you. Aw. Yeah. No doubt.
Oh, it's like sitting over here. This is the easy one. We need your bottom. We're gonna have to move you down the stone. So Amy and I are gonna move you. It's gonna be. So I'll give it to you. You're gonna do that green. Can we move her though, or are we gonna have it ran through this way? You know, it's gonna go the top. So yeah, we're gonna have to talk here.
I tried to move it.
And we're gonna have to move your body down in order to get you this.
Oh, thanks, Tanya. I'm trying to move it. Thank you for being here, Tanya.
Just mark me about 3 or 4 minutes.
I'm trying to move the phone away. Sorry. I don't know, Amy. It's sad. Always around their birthday.
Oh my God.
Aw. We love you. I love you guys. You are so sweet. I think that's the part. I think when she was screaming like that, that's the part that woke me up last night because I fell asleep listening to it. Y'all are so sweet. I love y'all. I love our little speculating family. Y'all are so sweet.
Not even a short one, maybe? Like, I'm gonna try it. I'll do both. Yeah, sure.
Yep. Carolina. Absolutely.
Oh my God, fucking desserts. Oh.
Mm.
Yeah, I got it.
Aw.
Okay, you're gonna feel my hand touching, okay? I need you to kind of relax this knee out as much as you can. And you're gonna feel the pressure as the spectrum. Okay? Can you get this? Oh.
I'm sorry. Maybe she won't scream again. Trying to jerk the phone away real quick.
Search warrant. Can I get my first to my phone?
You want to just put it on this one? This came out of the thing. Normally we put it back in the like.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
This is going out. Oh.
You know if you like it now? Yeah, this is my first one. These on a little.
Oh.
I really get it with inside.
Fucking man.
Sorry, I have to try to plug a little hair.
You guys just took a DNA swab. You don't need to fucking plug my hair.
I need to do both. Okay.
Well, it says DNA swab. It doesn't say fucking about hair.
I've just gone up with the officer who told me to.
The officer was paperwork saying vaginal swab.
You guys want the hair?
Yeah.
It's saying vaginal swab.
It does say pubic hair. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So you're gonna wait until one rolls out. Pull it.
Sorry.
Can you talk to? Ow. Really, dude? Fucking hair. Put my dog go down it, dude.
Is specimen cup or no? Maybe. This is my first time with this. Yeah, maybe a year into the window.
Yeah. Hey, can you get a specimen cup, please?
No.
Roxanne, you had asked why she's in the hospital. She's in the hospital because she jumped off of a balcony when the police were coming into the apartment after she had horrifically decapitated and murdered a little 10-year-old girl on her birthday. Cracker Jacks, thank you for sharing your milestone member for 4 months. Oh my goodness. That's a wow. Thank you so much for that. Cracker Jack said, #1 channel on YouTube for fun chat and case discussion. Yes, I love our speculating family. Y'all are amazing. And thank you for sharing that milestone.
How many years in the book?
A couple of them.
Oh goodness, Lisa.
I see it. And they want more on you.
Yeah.
Well, it needs to dry. So I'm gonna see what's next.
There's about 10 more minutes.
All right, we're done with that business, okay? So she'll end with her. Yeah, she can go back on the bed. All right, now we're gonna move you back to the door.
Try to move it. Yep. Yes, they were, Cracker. Sorry.
Just all I have to do is do those fingerprints that we were talking about.
Can you just hurry up and do it, please? I'm fucking paying, dude.
Like, they're taking genetics, and I don't have anything to do with that.
No, it's your guys' fucking moving me the fuck around. You know I'm all fucking busted up. What the fuck? Could have got the fucking DNA from my fucking toothbrush that's in my purse.
Yep. She is.
Check the motherfucking record. I am a convicted motherfucking felon. Fucking ah, bitch. The fuck? Trying to take off my whole fucking fingernail. Damn. I gotta be some motherfucking rough.
I wasn't. I apologize. I didn't know you had an injury there.
I told you I'm all fucking busted up, but yeah, no. Shit.
She is so disrespectful.
That's one too. My shit's on record, dude.
I understand it is, but you still gotta do it.
Still gotta do it. You want it, huh? Harassing.
take your hand, put it down like that.
Really, a regular fucking paper?
Yeah.
I'm not serious.
Yeah.
A paper?
We're still in the dynamite pages, man, as far as this stuff goes.
You're a fucking liar.
Look, I don't want to move your hand and then have
Dude,
you yell at
put
me
it.
because it's all fucked up.
I can't fucking move my elbow, you dumb fuck.
I'm gonna do the best I can with this.
The screaming is her. That's on the
Do the best
screen.
you can. I just want to cooperate.
The one screaming is Jessica Kelly, the one on screen. She jumped off of a balcony and broke her leg, and she's in the hospital, and they're getting DNA from her.
It's on her.
There's you guys. You know, I can't move my fucking elbow. You guys are fucking doing this all fucking. Use my language, ignorant. Dude.
Yes, that was her sadistic laugh. Yep. Yeah. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be giving that woman Dilaudid. I'd be giving her ibuprofen. She just graped, decapitated, and set on fire a little girl. Like, no. Absolutely not. Dilaudid my ass.
Would you want to try to sit up? Do you want to do that, or do you want to lay back?
I need to sit up with my fucking aching. Don't understand, my back, my fucking legs are busted.
Hey, listen, look, we're going to try to get you. I don't want those butts, but y'all have different signatures. I'm going to raise you up, okay?
Thank you.
I don't want to do it.
Don't be worried. I messed it up, man. Keep going. That's good. That's good.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep. Exactly, Tanya. And Linda. It's got 5 minutes left. Have a good day, Phony.
Sorry, I've got a couple oxycodone for you. Okay. You don't have any allergies, do you?
Well, they're giving her Percocet now instead of Dilaudid, which is better. Fawny, thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate that. Fawny said, got to go for a few. Everyone knows you have to cancel your cough Botox treatment if you missed your blood work. I was rolling so hard. Sure, Botox. Okay, love. Take care. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate that. And I hope you have a good day, sweetheart. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, a name here, expired Tylenol regular strength. They took her down to Percocet from Dilaudid, but I still wouldn't even give her no oxycodone. Thank you again, Fonnie. Yep.
Yeah, I need someone to fill it at least. It's up there somewhere.
Hey, Megan. She did.
Okay. Just like you said, what my nose up? You know, soap and water never takes it off, right? You know, soap and water never takes it off.
Yeah, we'll see if that was happening out. Try some of this stuff.
You think so?
Smell a little bit, but all right. So we're all done. That's country. There you go. Okay, so we're all done. All right, you have the search warrant. You ready? Okay.
Okay, you guys are searching the house. Where can I have my phone and my belongings? I need to call my husband. My husband doesn't know where I'm at.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna do a search. I'm doing a search warrant for your phone as well as everybody else.
You have a husband.
There. So that's just going to be tagged as evidence. All right. And so once it's tagged as evidence, then I'll get it out. I'll get a search warrant to get into the phone, examine all that stuff, and then be tagged back in evidence. Okay.
So it'll be down on the network.
It'll be in evidence.
When will that be? So when will that be? So I can go down there and get it?
It just depends on when I get to it. There's a lot to do on this case. Okay.
Okay, so I was thinking, like I said, in the boys' room, I have a trunk clothes and 2 bags for purses. I want my purse and my bag and my clothes. Like I said, that's all I want. That's it. That's all.
Okay.
I don't care about all the hygiene and shit I bought, because I just love it. I just want my purse and belongings.
Well, we collected what we deemed as evidence. And a lot of the stuff we just left in the apartment, so. All right. Do you have any other questions?
When is all this gonna be done? Like, what's my bail or whatever? It's like, I need to contact my husband.
All right. So, the arrest paperwork's already finished for you. So when you get discharged from here, you're gonna be transported immediately up to jail. Ready to be booked.
Yeah.
Hey, SD.
All right. So I need to know when I get to jail, I can bond out, even if it's $1 million, right?
I'm sure there'll be a bond, or maybe a bond,
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe either be a bond or a no hold. So I can't tell you what your bond's gonna be. Okay. All right. Anything else?
Got what you wanted, right?
Huh?
I said you got what you wanted, right? Huh?
Do you have any other questions about the search warrant or anything else?
Yes, I do. Like, what are you gonna get out of searching my things? You need to search that apartment, dude.
Oh, we already did.
Oh, you know?
We already did.
Oh, you got the.
Yeah. Is that it? All right. Well, hang in there and try to have a better night, okay?
Oh, I know. I'm trying.
All right.
Myself good.
Okay. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll see you later. All right. We'll conclude this at 12:55 a.m. on August 25th, 2016.
All right, so that's the end of what Jessica Kelly said. I'm going to show you guys a couple of news clips I saw where they're going over jail calls that Jessica Kelly did. If I can pull them up in my history. And then we'll talk about Victoria Martens' confession, which is the mother. Let's see. I think I saved them in a playlist. I want this. This is what I want to do. Now we want playlist. Her sister is something else too. Okay. Let's play this. Watch her sister. Like the whole family, I don't know. It's an odd situation in my opinion.
What happened the night Victoria Martens was murdered, and how much of a role did drugs play in what happened?
The people accused of doing it are talking, and Target 7's Nancy Laughlin is listening to those recorded jailhouse calls. It's a story you'll see only on 7.
I wish I would have knew what the I was getting myself into, dog.
What she got into turned out to be one of the most horrific crimes ever in New Mexico. Jessica Kelly is one of 3 people accused of killing 10-year-old Victoria Martens and cutting the child's body into pieces.
Put me away for life.
The night of the murder...
Yeah, Jessica's sister. She like blows kisses at the news, gets kicked out of court. It's insane.
Police reports say Jessica was acting weird. Her cousin Fabian Gonzales told police she was asking if he believed in Jesus and hit him in the head with an iron.
I wish I would have been up.
In a jailhouse recorded conversation with a friend that's filled with profanity, she implies she wasn't on drugs the night of the murder.
I wasn't even I was like, no, I'm not doing no shots.
Police reports say another suspect in this case, Victoria's mother, Michele, told detectives Victoria was given meth to make her relax, while Jessica and Fabian Gonzales had sex with the child. Court records show Jessica Kelly has a history of arrests involving illegal drugs. Fabian has 1 drug arrest, but it was dismissed.
And then your cousin, bro, what the f*** is he thinking?
I don't know, dude. I don't get high to go. Do I get high to tweak?
Even though 3 different police reports state the little girl was given meth before she died, medical examiners refute that, saying Victoria only had alcohol in her system. Jessica seems interested in what that autopsy says.
So keep that in mind as we listen to the Victoria Martens case, how they just pointed out that the mother said that the little girl was given methamphetamine and that they would find it in the autopsy report, but all that was found in that child's system was alcohol, which is horrendous. Don't get me wrong, but why would the mother say that she had methamphetamine in her system and she doesn't? Like, that's worse. You know what I mean?
Public, have you read it?
Huh?
The autopsy?
Yeah, no.
It's public.
When police got to the apartment, they say they found Victoria's body on fire in the bathtub. And they say Jessica Kelly was jumping from the balcony of the apartment.
I slid off the fucking top floor. Like, I didn't, jump.
They make it seem all bro. Man, they're dumb.
I slid off, fool, and I felt my right leg.
Yeah, who's dumb now?
Jammed it together, I broke my ankle, my leg, and up my joint because it all shattered.
In these jailhouse phone calls, Jessica repeatedly tells her family she believes she will get out of jail and be back home. In one conversation, her mother says Jessica was at Victoria's apartment that night for a reason.
Maybe God had you there to expose Fabian, and I think that's what it is.
I can't stand the maybe this was God's plan, people. It irks my nerves. Right. And it's the mother who said that, right? The mom. Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. That's why we want to talk about, I want to get into kind of false confessions.
You just heard Jessica's mom on the phone. She has gone to see her in jail. Another relative was at her last court hearing and got tossed out of the courtroom. Tomorrow night at 10, hear what has to say about that and the injury that still impacts her now. For Target 7, I'm Nancy Laughlin.
I want to show y'all specifically the one where her sister gets thrown out of court. Hold on. I will listen to this one real quick. This is her talking to her sister on the phone. I think it shows a clip of her getting thrown out of court. So, yeah, Stephen Stern's mom 2.0. Exactly.
Phone calls obtained by Target 7 reveal what happened in the hours before Victoria Martens was killed and how drugs played a role. These are the 3 people accused of killing the 10-year-old.
I think this might be the same one we just listened to. I'm going to check the playlist real quick. No, that's...
The phone calls obtained by Target 7 reveal what happened in the hours before Victoria Martens was killed and how drugs played a role. These are the 3 people accused of killing the 10-year-old little girl.
Tonight, Target 7's Nancy Laughlin focuses on Jessica Kelly and what her sister is urging her to do.
You have seen Jessica Kelly's sister in court, smiling and blowing kisses to our camera. The only time the two can talk now is on the phone, in conversations that are recorded because Jessica is in jail, accused in the brutal murder of 10-year-old Victoria Martens.
Everybody asked me, they're like, that's your sister, what do you think? I said, anybody's capable of anything, but no, like, no.
The two never mention Victoria's name, but Jessica's sister urges her to own up to her role in the crime if she had one.
You know what Dad always used to say, like, you did the crime, you do the time, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm trying to say right now is, like, if you had any, like, I don't even want to say it over the phone, but if you had anything to do with it, man up, you know? Yeah, I know that.
Her sister tells Jessica the accusations are taking a toll on her.
I'm doing bad, sister. I'm doing real bad. I think I lost my mind.
Jessica warns her sister to stay off drugs.
My whole world's falling apart, you know? I'm dead. I'm in such depression. I'm just everything. Like right now, I'm even down and gone.
Implying drugs are the reason why she's now accused in one of the most brutal killings in New Mexico history.
Just end up like me, and end up doing something stupid, and they're gonna end up in here, and they're gonna separate us because they're sisters.
Just days before Victoria's murder, Jessica had been released from prison.
I was out for 7 days, dude. Okay? I was just recording for 4 days. I talked to you literally hours before I got arrested. But you're on a mindset of selfishness. You're out for your own, you know, chasing that dope and money. I know. That's what I do.
The night Victoria was murdered, police say Jessica Kelly was with her cousin Fabian Gonzales at Michele Martens' apartment. Now all 3 will face a jury. The first to go on trial, Victoria's mother, then Fabian. The last will be Jessica Kelly. For Target 7.
I'm going to show you real quick her sister, and then we'll get, dang it, her sister getting thrown out of court, and then we will get into Victoria Martens' interrogation. Now,
good evening. It has been more than 4.
So there is, Victoria Martens was being abused, okay? And we're going to hear about
3 years since 10-year-old Victoria Martens was.
I hate when it does that. Let me see if I can pull it up. Okay, so there is another male DNA profile that they have never found out who it was. Michele Martens had a dating profile on Plenty of Fish. She had a boyfriend who she said tried to kiss Victoria, and she kicked him out pretty much immediately per what she says. Michele Martens was of diminished mindset, okay? So I don't know if people saw this and took advantage of the fact she had a daughter, or if Michele let them do it because she wasn't all there. I don't know. I don't know that we'll ever know. But we're going to kind of go through the case. We're going to go through the FOIA stuff, and I'm going to put out videos, you know, as I can. And I want to know what you guys think when we go through this. I just want to show y'all real quick, though. This Jessica Kelly's sister gets kicked out, and she says some things as she's getting kicked out. Yeah, that's the big question. Why did she even have custody of the kids?
There are a lot of strange things at the courthouse today. There was a
I don't understand why it's doing this. I'm going to back it up. Okay.
There are a lot of strange things at the courthouse today. There was a woman who was screaming. She got kicked out of court after she threatened Michele Martens. One by one, heads down, all in shackles, the 3 people accused of killing 10-year-old Victoria Martens.
Okay, I don't understand why it's doing this. Give me 1 second. Okay, I apologize. I'm going to back it up just a little bit and see if it'll work now.
Who was screaming. She got kicked out of court after she threatened Michele Martens.
I don't understand.
One by one, heads down, all in shackles, the 3 people accused of killing 10-year-old Victoria Martens made their way into the courtroom. Michele Martens, Jessica Kelly, and Fabian Gonzales are suspects in one of New Mexico's most horrific crimes. As they spotted friends or family members, there were plenty of tears and sighs. The grandparents of 10-year-old Victoria Martens held hands and wore pins saying, "Forever Victoria." Last August, Victoria was raped, killed, dismembered, then set on fire. Victoria's mother, Michele, is one of the suspects in this case. At first, it was quiet in the courtroom. Then a woman who blew kisses at our photographer and gestured
I don't understand why it's skipping so bad.
for Jessica Kelly to smile was kicked out.
Leave the courtroom now.
After that, Martin's defense attorney Gary Mitchell asked if he could sit next to his client for security reasons.
What on earth?
Then, when the 3 suspects were moving out of the jury box and in front of the judge,
oh my God.
Jessica Kelly tumbled over and bailiffs had
She fell.
to help her get back on her feet. Eventually, she made her way in front of the judge,
Oh my God.
who decided all 3.
Good Lord. Okay, hold on. Goodness. What on earth? Y'all, I'm getting Starlink in the beginning of next week. This is freaking ridiculous. Hold on a minute. Good God. I'm pulling up YouTube. Okay, hold on. I'm going to try to play that again since it skipped so bad. Lord have mercy. It was 1 minute and 43 seconds.
There are a lot of strange things at the courthouse today. There was a woman who was screaming. She got kicked out of court after she threatened Michele Martens. One by one, heads down, all in shackles, the 3 people accused of killing 10-year-old Victoria Martens made their way into the courtroom. Michele Martens, Jessica Kelly, and Fabian Gonzales are suspects in one of New Mexico's most horrific crimes. As they spotted friends or family members, there were plenty of tears and sighs. The grandparents of 10-year-old Victoria Martens held hands and wore pins saying, "Forever Victoria." Last August, Victoria was raped, killed, dismembered, then set on fire. Victoria's mother, Michele, is one of the suspects in this case. At first, it was quiet in the courtroom. Then a woman who blew kisses at our photographer and gestured for Jessica Kelly to smile was kicked out.
Leave the courtroom now.
After that, Martin's defense attorney Gary Mitchell asked if he could sit next to his client for security reasons. Then, when the 3 suspects were moving out of the jury box and in front of the judge, Jessica Kelly tumbled over and bailiffs had to help her get back on her feet. Eventually, she made her way in front of the judge, who decided all 3 will be tried separately. Okay, lawyers on both sides said they needed more time for this
Okay, so that's what I wanted you to see, where her sister got kicked out of the courtroom and she falls over. Hopefully it's done being choppy now. I don't know what on earth just happened. All right, let's go to... I pulled this from a channel. Yes. Real Crime Psychology. So I'm going to link them in the description box. This is a 25-minute interrogation. Now, we started watching some of it. No, it's an hour and 11 minutes. We'll try to watch it.
35-year-old Michele Martens, a mother of...
Okay, now this is going to have their thought process on it as well. I want you to kind of disregard that and try to come to your own conclusion on this, okay?
Of two whose spine-chilling revelations left the detectives and the entire state of Texas in complete shock.
You were in the room while she was being assaulted. What part did you take in that act?
As the interrogation starts, detectives realized that her seemingly normal house was actually the ultimate house of horrors. In this interrogation, detectives uncover a monster in disguise of a loving mother. A woman who betrayed her own daughter in the most horrific way. On the morning of August 24th, 2016, a worried neighbor's tip brought Texas police to this apartment, revealing a crime so shocking it would stay with them forever. When the police arrived at the scene, they saw smoke.
Okay, we know about that. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the interrogation, and I'm going to pin them at the top of the chat box. So the other son is with his father.
Ordinary family.
Hey, ma'am. I'm Corey.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Josh is gonna go back in and talk to Phoebe a little bit. So I just wanted to come back in so that way we can continue on going through. Okay. Maybe to make it a little bit easier, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit. Victoria's birthday was just yesterday, right? Okay. And what were you guys gonna do for Victoria's birthday?
We're gonna celebrate it today.
Okay. What was did you guys have a plan?
The park above.
The park
At the park above. It's up at Rio Rancho.
Okay. Okay.
Nice.
We guys just have friends and cake.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do you, does that make you, it's hard, huh? Okay. She was your baby.
I came back to my mother and father, now I have to.
Why'd you name her Victoria?
I always said if I had a girl, I'd name her Victoria.
Okay. And she was 10, just turned 10? Yeah. What were some of her favorite things to do?
Color, math.
Math?
Gymnastics.
Gymnastics. Okay. What did she do, like tumbling in gymnastics? Okay. Wow. You're gonna miss her.
Yeah.
Initially, Michele tried to play the role of a grieving mother, but these seasoned detectives saw through her act. After all, she had allowed Fabian and Jessica to stay in her home, despite the clear danger they posed to her children.
Now, she met Fabian on Plenty of Fish. Fabian, I guess, convinced her to let Jessica Kelly stay there, seeing as she had just gotten out of prison. I don't know if she knew about the charges. She should have known about the charges, letting these people stay there. And she had met people on Plenty of Fish. These people had hurt Victoria before. Whether she knew that or not, I don't know. I don't know how you didn't know that these people were hurting your daughter. And how are you meeting predators? Like, again, her mental capacity is at question here. But how is, like, almost every person you're meeting on Plenty of Fish a predator and hurting your children? Like, I don't get that. Okay.
I'm just worried about my son.
Well, and I want you to be able to be there for your son. Okay?
I'm worried about my life now too.
Well, Can you kind of tell me why you're worried?
Because now I'm afraid they're gonna come back and kill me. I don't even want to stay home now.
Okay.
I want to get out of there.
Just weeks into dating, Michele let Fabian, a repeat offender with a history of misdemeanors and child abuse, move into her apartment, which she shared with her daughter. Within a month, Fabian brought his cousin, Jessica Kelly, into the household. A recently released felon with a history of crime and substance abuse, she arrived on August 15th, 2016, just 8 days before the crime unfolded. Allowing two dangerous individuals to stay with her daughter wasn't just reckless, it raised serious suspicions about Michele's.
Now, that doesn't look like the same person to me. This man here, that doesn't look like Fabian, but I suppose it is.
Motives. But Michele would not be able to hide her involvement in the crime for a long time, and the detectives will soon pin her down.
Kind of explain to me that again. What time did Victoria come home, and when did you notice it was gone?
She gets home about 4:30 because the bus gets there about 4. So she went to her friend's house because she didn't see me at the bus stop.
Okay.
And her friend sent her back to the house around 4:30, 4:45, around there. And that's about the time that me and Fabian, we got back at about 4:50, 5 o'clock, around there.
And where were you and Fabian at?
We went to his uncle's.
Oh, okay.
And we came back, and that's when I saw on the table.
Okay.
Take your time.
Now, again, this is from Real Crime Psychology. I did put them in the description box, and they are pinned at the top of the comment section. This is going to get really graphic and really horrible. So during this time, while her and Fabian were at her uncle's house, the child was with Jessica Kelly. She was in the care of Jessica Kelly.
And I went to use the restroom. And I came back and I was gone. And Victoria was the only one in the living room. So then she said she started feeling tired, so she was going to go to bed.
Okay.
So she went in there.
She went into her room? Okay.
And never came back out.
Okay. What happened next? Did you go check on it?
I always check on her. When I checked on her, she seemed to be breathing. Because I checked, I always look at her stomach. See it was going up and down. And that was the last time that I checked on her.
Okay.
Fabian said he was going to go check on her for me. So he went to go check on her. And that was the time she wasn't breathing. And that's when he told me, she's not breathing.
Of the three adults living in the apartment, each seems to have their own version of events that were vastly different from one another. Michele claims she checked on Victoria twice and found that she had stopped breathing the second time, suggesting a possible drug poisoning. Jessica, however, had offered a completely different account, alleging that a mysterious man came looking for Fabian. When he couldn't find him, he went straight to Victoria's room and did those horrible things to her. Notably, the interrogations of both Fabian and Jessica were never disclosed to the media.
And what did you do?
I got up and, what do you mean she's not breathing? And then I looked on the table and put the notice the bag was gone. I was like, did she get a hold of that? And they're like, she might have.
Okay.
I was like, what was the only thing there?
And where was the bag at?
In the living room table. Okay. The coffee.
And did you ever see it after it went missing?
No.
No? Okay.
So then Jessica went to get the knife. And I asked her where she's going with that.
It didn't look like him to me, but maybe with a good tan or something. I don't know. What was I going to say? I forgot. So in the end, there was an unknown male DNA found on Victoria, and they still to this day don't know whose DNA it was.
She said we're going to dispose of the body.
So let's back up just a little bit, okay? Because you're skipping around. So Fabian tells you she's not breathing. Did you go check on her?
I did.
Okay. And tell me about that. What did you see?
Just her laying there.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to call the cops because then they probably would have stopped me from trying to do that.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
There's another reason that you didn't call the police, though, isn't there? Why didn't you call police?
Because there were drugs in the house.
Okay.
And I didn't want them to think it was mine because it's not.
Okay. And I understand. That I understand. Okay. I mean, there's drugs in the house. You don't want to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you check on your daughter. And what do you find?
She wasn't breathing when I went in there.
Okay. Was she dead?
She was.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I know that this is not your fault.
I feel like it is.
It's not.
That's how they want me to freaking feel.
That is how they want you to feel. They want you to feel like you did this and it's your fault, but it's not.
At first glance, Michele looks like a mother who's distressed at her daughter's death. In fact, the detective uses her sympathetic side to make Michele comfortable and open, which worked. She shares that as a mother, she confessed to protect her own while her own daughter was tormented in front of her eyes. Had it been any other detective, maybe Michele could have slipped through. But as the interrogation progresses, the detectives team up and get Michele to confess the full shocking truth.
So yeah, Jenna, that's possible. And it's good to see you, love.
Would it go in the room in between when you checked on her and when the first time and the second time?
I'm not sure because I went to use the bathroom.
When did you and Fabian go to his brother's house to buy some? When was that? Was that before this or after?
It was before this.
Okay.
Because I wasn't home. I wasn't home to get Victoria at the bus stop. And then that's what made her go to her friend's house.
Okay.
And then her friend sent her back to the house when Jessica was there. So I don't know what went on when I wasn't there.
Okay.
So do you remember when you and Fabian were back in the parking lot? When you guys got back to
Me
the
and him were
apartment?
sitting in the car.
Okay. And you guys, what were you doing?
We were listening to music.
Okay. So what did you see with Jessica? What happened with Jessica?
She was coming down the stairs with my daughter in a blanket.
Why was that?
I don't know.
You do know. So let's back up.
I'm just trying to get the times right because it's kind of getting a little confusing. Do you know what I mean?
So let's back up to where you find her and she's dead on the bed.
Again, this is from Real Crime Psychology. Please give them a like and subscribe. Oh, Lord. That's Inspector BS. He's sniffing out the BS.
Okay. What happens from there?
They are.
There's a conversation between you and Fabian and Jessica. What is that conversation?
He said if I tell anybody that I'm going to be the next one.
Okay.
They threatened me.
And what did you guys decide to do with your daughter? With Victoria? Your baby girl. This is your 10-year-old baby girl, Victoria.
They put me in the bathtub.
Because you were there. And you saw. And you watched. So what was the discussion about what was going to be done with Victoria?
I knew they were going to get rid of her, but I didn't know. I forgot this discussion.
You forgot the discussion?
I don't remember.
Okay. What happened next?
They said that if I say anything, they just kept threatening me.
Okay.
That if I say anything, I'm going to be the next one. Or I better not fall asleep. So then I just left.
So you left?
There was nothing else I could do. I didn't know what to do.
So From the time you find your daughter and she's dead, Victoria is dead in her room. Am I right? And then you leave. What happened in between that time?
Before that was the time I saw Jessica stabbing her in the stomach.
Okay.
And then with the pillow over it.
So explain the whole pillow over her head. What was that for?
Because it's gripped to hold her hands.
So was she already dead?
She was already.
Oh, okay. So you see her and she's, can you kind of explain to me, she's holding her hands?
So you're going to notice that the story, she gives several different stories, as most people do when they're being interrogated, especially about something horrendous like this. They're going to tell you about 15 lies before they actually tell the truth. Okay. So, but I want you to keep that in mind. Maybe the Mom's Plenty of Fish profile pics had lots of pictures of her daughter on it and attracted pedos. That's a possibility, Jenna. That's a possibility.
Jessica's holding her hands and Fabian was cutting her arm.
So they were cutting her arms off in the bedroom.
Okay. And then put in the bathtub.
Okay. When did they start cutting her leg off?
After her arm.
After her arm? Okay. So what you're saying is Jessica was holding her arms and Fabian was cutting? Okay. So Fabian had the knife at that point. Okay. But you said that Jessica stabbed her in the stomach? Okay. Why?
It's like they were taking turns at her.
Okay. And when you saw this, you didn't call 911 because you were afraid that the cops were going to know that there were drugs in the house?
That they were going to kill me right there on the spot.
Okay.
Michelle's story is both graphic and full of contradictions. It was clear that it didn't align with the narrative of a helpless mother she was trying to portray. But the female detective successfully sees through it. She holds Michelle's hands to show her support and empathize, a strategy only to turn Michelle's cries into confessions later.
At what time does Jessica carry your daughter down the stairs? Is this before or after they cut her up?
After.
So she was already cut up?
No, that's when they put her in the bathtub. It was before they cut her, because then they put her other pieces in the bathtub.
So she carried her downstairs to you guys when you guys were in the car before they cut her up.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was.
Mandy, I'm glad you pointed that out, and I hope that you're here at the end because I want to discuss that. I really do. And I appreciate you being here. She's playing like she had nothing to do with it and a victim herself. Wow, it's your responsibility to protect her. That's a big thing. That's a big thing. It's her responsibility to protect her. And I see that y'all are angry. We're going to talk about it. I don't find it amusing.
She was basically asking, are you guys ready to do this?
There's just a lot to this.
Okay.
So then, just so we're clear, you knew that Victoria was dead, right? And then you and Fabian left for a little bit to go to his brother's house? Is that correct? I'm just
it's when I came back. When I came back.
When you came back? But we have people saying that you and Fabian were sitting in the car when Jessica was on the stairs holding Victoria in a blanket.
That's how I knew.
That's how you knew she was dead? Okay, so then let me back up. Victoria told you she was sleeping and was going to go to bed, right? You checked on her a little bit after that. You said she was breathing, right? So then you and Fabian left to go get from his brother? And I don't care about that. I'm just trying to figure.
Yeah.
Then you guys left. Then when you came back, Jessica was holding Victoria, right?
Yes.
That's when you went up and that's when you knew for sure she was dead?
Yes.
And what did Jessica tell you about how she died?
She told me she didn't know.
But you said earlier she killed her. How did she kill her?
Victoria took the meth that was on the table and then Jessica stabbed her in the stomach in her bedroom.
So I guess I'm a little confused, and I think I see what you're talking about, because it's either your daughter went into the room and she died and you left, or it's your daughter went into the room, you guys left, came back and found her dead. Which one is it?
Okay, so you notice how right now the stories are not adding up. Okay. It's like, you know, she's telling her two stories and the interrogator's trying to figure out which one is true.
So you were gone.
Yes.
You weren't even there when she was dying. Okay. And so you come back and you guys make this plan, like, great, now we're going to get in trouble, so we got to get rid of the body. Am I right?
Yeah, but I didn't want to have no part of it.
Okay.
It's not my fault.
But this is your daughter.
I know.
This is Victoria. This is your baby.
How did Victoria die? Do you know?
She tasted the that was on the table.
Okay, so because you said something a minute ago, you said that Jessica stabbed her?
And it was after she was already dead.
Okay.
So you know that she took, and that's what killed her. Okay.
Now remember, they just talked about the autopsy and said there was no methamphetamine found in Victoria's system. There was alcohol, but not methamphetamine.
So you guys, or you watch, but Jessica and Fabian cut your daughter up, Victoria. They cut her arms off. They cut her leg off. They cut her from here to here, Victoria. They cut her. And you watch, right?
I couldn't. After I saw that she was starting to cut her arm, I left.
What do you mean you left?
I went outside.
Okay. So explain to me what happened after that. You guys started cleaning up?
And they started cleaning up.
What did you do?
I was in the kitchen.
What did you do in the
Getting
kitchen?
ready to make dinner. Making the tacos. And then Fabian took over after he was finished.
By this point, the detectives were fairly certain Michelle's psyche was more than a little off. After all, it takes a special kind of detachment to witness your daughter being chopped up, then casually head to the kitchen to whip up some tacos.
Now that, in fact, did happen. This child was deceased and in the bathtub, and they all went and made tacos and ate them. Which, again, I what? Excuse me? Like, I don't know, man. That's real messed up.
For a mother, brushing off something like that wasn't just concerning, it was downright chilling. In the face of such harrowing details of mutilation that would make anyone's blood boil, the detectives managed to keep a sympathetic voice towards Michelle, as if trying to understand her perspective so that she does not get defensive. This approach actually helped them to get closer to the truth.
After you guys cut the arms off of Victoria, cut her leg off, and wrapped her up in a blanket and put her in the bathtub, right? Then you went and made dinner. And what did Jessica and Fabian do?
Like nothing ever happened.
Okay. So where did they cut her up at?
The bathtub.
In the bathtub? So where did they cut her arms off at?
In the bedroom.
In the bedroom. Okay. Did you, when they were cutting her up, Victoria, did you ever touch Victoria or hold on to her, hold her arm? Did you ever hold her steady?
Because they threatened me saying if I go near them, that they're going to kill me too.
Okay. So you go and make dinner. Okay. And they are clean. And then what happens after that?
Once it was done, I go in my room and I eat.
Okay.
And I
so
only ate one taco.
Well, because you were probably sick to your stomach.
Yeah.
I mean, and she makes sure to say, I only ate one taco, as if that makes any of this better. That irritates me.
Yeah, I can't.
So then I put the other one in the fridge.
Okay.
And then that's when I got back in the room. And I've been trying right now.
Okay. And how did this all happen? How did the fight happen?
That's true.
Did they think you were going to try to get away?
Yes, because when I got up out of bed because I couldn't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got up, that's when Jessica explained if I believed in God. And that was my hint right there that she was trying to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to get up because I saw the iron in her hand.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got up, that's when she hit me. And I was holding like this. And I went outside into the living room. And then that's where everything else took place.
Okay.
She just started beating me and beating me.
Now, you and Fabian both left out of the front door. And I know that you left together because the neighbors you guys woke the neighbors up and they all watched you. Okay. So you and Fabian left together out the front. What did you guys decide you were going to tell police? Because you now have to call police. You're very hurt. What did you guys decide to tell the police?
That Jessica did.
That Jessica did it. Okay.
Or the first thing that happened to her body after she was dead? Was she stabbed? Was she cut? What was the first thing?
She was stabbed.
And who did that?
Jessica.
Okay. Did she just stab her or did she slice her?
Did that.
Okay.
So straight up and down into her body?
And this was in her.
She went up.
This was in her bedroom?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happened to Victoria after that?
This, again, is from Real Crime Psychology. Please give them a like and subscribe. They're pinned at the top of the chat box and in the description box. Yeah.
So she still had
Like
her arms
rebuilt.
when she went into the bathtub?
I know they cut one off.
They cut one of her arms off on the bed? Okay.
One or both?
One.
Okay. And then they put her on the bed? When did they cut off her second arm?
Did they put her in the bathtub?
When did they cut her leg?
She was in the bath.
When she was in the bath?
What were they saying when they were cutting her? What were they talking about?
It was saying if you say anything to anybody, you're gonna be the next one.
Is there anything else? Anything you can remember?
No.
Did they talk about where they were going to put her body? What they were going to do with it?
I don't remember.
Anything else you remember that they said? I know it's hard. I know it's very traumatic. Did they say anything to you? Did they tell you they were sorry?
No.
Did they tell Victoria they were sorry?
No. They had no remorse.
Did anybody use the iron for anything at that point? Was anybody have the iron?
No, that came when Jessica started fighting with me.
Okay. So you never saw the iron before she hit you with it?
No.
This explains why Michele seemed so scared at the beginning. Jessica Kelly feared that Michele might betray them, believing that a mother who couldn't stay loyal to her own daughter could never be trusted to stay faithful to her. Acting on this fear, Jessica struck Michele in the face with an iron to silence her. However, Fabian intervened and saved Michele. It was after this altercation that they went to their neighbor's house where the 911 call was made.
So Jessica comes in, tries to ask her, do you believe in God? Smacks her in the face with the iron. Fabian breaks them up, and Fabian gets Michele, and they go to the neighbor's house and they call 911. And I know it's horrific now, but I do want to warn you, it's going to get way worse. Okay.
What did they do with Victoria's arms? Were they in the house?
I didn't see her in the house.
Okay. Maybe, let me ask you this. Maybe you want to refresh your memory a little bit, okay? Do you remember them wrapping Victoria in a trash bag? Do you remember that? When did they do that? Or a bag? I don't know if it was a trash bag. Did they wrap her in plastic?
No, but they had the trash bags under the sink.
In the kitchen?
They used those?
And both of them lifted her up and put her in there.
And was it before they started cutting her or after?
After.
After which part? Her arms or after her leg? No, I'm asking you really difficult questions, okay?
No.
It's really hard to think about. Do you remember when you put her in the trash bag?
I don't remember exactly. But it was after they cut one of the lips. I don't remember exactly.
Was it before they put her in the bathtub?
It was after.
After? Okay.
So when I finally escaped Jessica from beating me up, and I finally got out the door, I was gonna go knock on my neighbor's door right next to me. And that's when Fabian called me, he's over here, over here. That's when I went over there and I went to the neighbor's house and sat down.
Okay.
And then I don't know what went on after. All I heard was the smoke alarms. So she was probably trying to set my house on fire.
Did they talk about fire when you were there? Or?
No, but all I heard was the alarm.
Michelle,
And Jessica was the only one in the house at that time.
Michelle, did they talk about putting Victoria in a car or taking her somewhere, or what they were going to do with her?
They didn't mention it to me.
So they didn't have.
Because it would have been my car.
Okay.
So and this goes back to the beginning of this live stream when I played the videos where they talk about the neighbor called 911, the police arrived, Jessica's in the house, she locks the door, she jumps off the balcony, and the smoke alarms start going off because she set Victoria, who was in the bathtub, decapitated and deceased, on fire.
But Michelle, there was a conversation that you guys had about what you were going to do with Victoria, with her body.
What were you going to do?
And if it's easier, what were they going to do to Victoria? What were they going to do with her body?
She was my one and only.
What's that?
She was my one and only miracle child.
And you were a good mom. You're not a bad person. Michelle, what were they going to do with Victoria's body?
They were going to try to take my car.
Okay.
But I wouldn't let them get the keys.
Okay, and what were they going to do with your car?
Take her somewhere. I don't know where.
Okay,
Just to get rid of her.
Michelle's audacity is baffling. If Victoria was truly her miracle child, why didn't she try to protect her? As a mother, her primary responsibility was to safeguard her daughter, a responsibility she spectacularly failed to fulfill.
Michelle.
So at the end of the day, she definitely failed her child.
One more thing, okay?
Did
Jessica ever specifically say anything to you about how she killed Victoria? Do you know how she killed her? Or do you not know?
She never mentioned to me that she was even going to do that.
Do what?
Kill her.
So how do you know she killed her?
Because she was the only one in my house.
Okay.
So did she kill her or did she take her and die? And you need to be completely honest because we've heard two stories. Did she take her and she died? Or did Jessica kill her? Remember, be honest. When we go to autopsy tomorrow, is Victoria going to have in her system? She will not.
So then how did she die, Michelle?
Okay, so notice now the story's changed. She's not going to have meth in her system, and they're trying to ask her which story is true because she's given two different accounts.
What happened?
How did Victoria die?
She tried.
She what?
She tried it.
She tried what?
The drug on the table.
So Victoria did take the on the table.
So will there be within her system? Yeah.
So why did you just tell us no a second ago, Michelle? It's confusing to me. What are you afraid of?
Do you think we're gonna blame you? And why are you afraid to tell us that she took?
Because I feel like a failure.
Did somebody do something to Victoria after she took to make sure that she stayed asleep? That you know of?
That I can recall. I can't remember much.
So did you lie about Jessica killing your daughter because that was the plan when you and Fabian got attacked? And it's okay if you did. I understand why you would be dishonest. But I need to know because we can't, I don't want Jessica to get in trouble for something that she did or did not do. So if she killed your daughter, we need to know that.
So I don't know who gave her the alcohol that was found in her system. If I had to guess, I would say that it was probably Jessica Kelly. Again, this is from Real Crime Psychology. Please give them a like and subscribe. They are linked in the chat box and the description box, and it is about to get even worse.
But if she didn't kill your daughter, if it was an accident that she took these drugs, we also need to know that too. Does that make sense? Okay. Did Jessica kill your daughter?
No.
No. Okay. Did your daughter die because there was left on the table and she took some?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Did you guys cut her apart because you were afraid to call police because she had died from drugs and you were afraid that you would get in trouble?
They did, yes.
They did. Okay. Did Michelle kill Victoria? Okay.
I'm sorry, Lisa. I don't know.
Was it an accident?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Did anybody force Victoria to beat
No.
Nobody did try it?
Do you wish now that you had called police when she took it?
Yes.
Okay.
The truth is far more twisted. Victoria's autopsy report showed no signs of, so it's clear she didn't take the drug at the time of her death. But Michelle here thinks leading the detectives with this story will prevent them from stumbling upon her dark secret. While Michelle thinks her strategies are working, she still does not realize that detectives see right through it. The male detective had outright asked her if she was involved, and seeing her hesitation, he changed the question, asking if they were involved instead. It helps in loosening Michelle's narrative and allows her to disclose more than she had planned.
Now, I know this guy is saying all of this, but I do want to add that it is his perspective. That's the way he sees it. I want you to try to keep an open mind about this.
You, and correct me if I missed something, okay? If I'm mistaken. Victoria said she was going to go to bed, right? Because she felt sleepy after you saw the bag missing, right? Mm-hmm. You and Fabian then left Victoria at the house with Jessica, and you and Fabian went to Fabian's brother's house and bought some, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Then when you guys came back, you guys were in the car listening to music, mm-hmm. and that's when Jessica brought Victoria onto the porch, was holding her, right? Mm-hmm. When you guys went inside at that point, that's when you realized that Victoria was dead? Mm-hmm. Okay. How long were you gone from the time when after you checked on her and you and Fabian left, how long from the time you walked out the door till the time you walked back in the door, roughly?
About an hour and a half, maybe.
Okay.
And this is after she's already come home from school?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so she tells you, Mommy, I'm tired, I'm going to go lay down. Mm-hmm. You guys had come home from school and everything. And you said that was about what time that you think?
She went to her neighbors. They got off the bus at 4. And sometimes the bus is late, so we get there about 4:15. So she went to her friend's house at 4:30, and then her friend had to come out, so she went to my house.
Okay.
After that, and that's when she went inside with Jessica.
This is where Jessica's account differs. The mystery man we mentioned earlier had gone in search of Fabian. Seeing no sign of him, this man went straight to Victoria's room and killed her. He then ordered Jessica to dispose of the body before leaving. Whether this version is true remained uncertain till the very end, but the autopsy revealed unidentified male DNA, adding another layer of mystery to the case.
So when you guys went in to the house after you bought, Jessica told you she put her down to go to sleep, right?
Yes.
And you guys didn't check on her right away?
No, I didn't. She's like, she's heavy. I was like, yeah, I know she's 74 pounds. I was like, she's a dead sleeper.
And then about an hour after that, Fabian went in to check on her. And what did he say when he came out?
She's not breathing.
Okay. What did Jessica say anything at that point?
No, she didn't quit.
Okay. And then you went in and checked if she was breathing? And then how long was it after that that they decided to start cutting up her body? Pretty fast?
It's about 5 to 10 minutes.
Dr. Barry Ramo, who conducted the autopsy, provided statements that sharply contradicted Michelle's account.
The whole thing.
Now, remember, this is, okay, you've heard what she said, right? And how she's changed the story up a couple of times. And she said there was methamphetamine in this child's system. And now we're going to hear what the man who performed the autopsy said.
Thing is beyond anyone's conception that this could happen, especially to a little 10-year-old child. This is horrible, but it appears that she died from... There was evidence of sexual abuse, both in terms of trauma as well as the fact that she had an infection that she'd had for some time and evidence of the HPV infection.
The contents of the report were enough to make anyone sick, even causing the doctor to flinch at the sight. Despite Michelle's claims, no meth was found in Victoria's system. Instead, the autopsy revealed something even more unsettling: the presence of an unknown male DNA, raising more questions about what truly happened. In the next...
So it's about to get way worse, but she died of strangulation. And she had been abused. She had an infection. So it had been some time. She had been being abused for some time. Again, it's about to get even worse. So I'm giving you a heavy trigger warning.
Next clip, the sickening reality of what truly happened to Victoria that day comes to light. The revelations were so disturbing that even the detectives were unprepared for it.
Is his DNA going to be on Victoria?
I hope not.
So, like,
from holding.
Like if I grabbed Corey, my DNA is going to...
No.
But you said they were holding her to cut her.
But Jessica was holding her arms.
So he never touched her, he just only held a knife, or what?
Mm-hmm.
What about when they put her in the trash bag? You said they both lifted her up and put her in the trash bag.
The pieces.
Well, that's still Victoria. Whether it's an arm or it's a leg, it's still your daughter. It's still Victoria. Right? So is his DNA going to be on her arm or on her leg if he picked up the pieces and put them in this bag?
Yes.
Yes.
So at any point, did you hold Victoria's limbs while they cut her?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Did you at any time use a knife or any other object to help dismember Victoria?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Did you touch her or move her or anything while she was in the bathtub?
No.
Did you assist with putting her in the trash bag?
No.
So at no point after she died, when Fabian came out and said she wasn't breathing, did you go touch her?
I touched her stomach to see if her stomach was going up and down. I was checking her pulse.
Okay.
And that was the last time I touched her.
Okay. So after that, did you ever have any physical contact with the body of your daughter?
I didn't even get to tell her I love her.
After Victoria passed away, and it must have been just absolutely so difficult. Before you went and made dinner, after you guys had, or after Fabian and Jessica cut her up, when did you and Fabian have intercourse? And was it forced? Or
It wasn't forced.
Okay, so when did you guys have?
It was before we went to bed.
Before you went to bed. Was it before or after you ate?
Ask it.
So what they're saying right now, what she's saying is that her daughter was being decapitated in the bathtub. They not only cooked tacos, but her and Fabian had relations.
After you ate. Okay. So, and I just want to make sure. So she dies. They cut her up and then they clean up. And then you guys had made dinner. And then after that, you had intercourse with Fabian before you went to bed. Okay. All right. Okay. I just want to verify what he's saying, just so that way I can make sure that we have the correct story. One question, and it's a very serious question. Okay. Who was raping your daughter? Who was assaulting your daughter?
Now, again, I'm telling you, it's going to get worse. So again, I'm trying to warn you to the best of my ability. It's going to get real bad.
Who was sexually assaulting your daughter, Michelle? Because you knew about it.
That was my ex-boyfriend.
That was your ex-boyfriend?
Yes. And that's why I got rid of him.
What's his name?
David Hernandez.
Okay. Was he assaulting your son as well?
Not that I know of.
Michelle.
Because my son is barely with me. He's mostly with his father.
Michelle. Was he assaulting your son as well?
Not really, no.
When did
What? Time out.
Yeah.
Now notice she answers the question. She said, I'm going to back it up a little bit. They asked, what was your son being sexually assaulted? And she answers sternly and says, no, he was barely with me. Okay. Hopefully I didn't go too far back. And then they stop and they say, Michelle, who was sexually assaulting your son? And every time they do that, her answer is going to change.
And then they clean up. And then you guys had made dinner. And then after that, you had intercourse with Fabian before you went to bed. Okay. All right. Okay. I just want to verify what he's saying, just so that way I can make sure that we have the correct story. One question, and it's a very serious question. Okay. Who was raping your daughter? Who was assaulting your daughter? Who was sexually assaulting your daughter, Michelle? Because you knew about it.
That was my ex-boyfriend.
That was your ex-boyfriend?
Yes. And that's why I got rid of him.
What's his name?
David Hernandez.
Was he assaulting
Okay, so right here, he's about to ask, was he assaulting your son as well?
your son as well?
Not that I know of.
Michelle.
Because my son is barely with me. He's mostly with his father.
Now, she answers sternly, because my son is barely with me. He's mostly with his father. And then they're going to get stern and ask her again.
Was he assaulting your son as well?
Not really, no.
When did
What? Time out.
Yeah.
What the? To be frank, what the does not really know mean when it comes to your child. Was he assaulting your son or not?
No.
Okay, that was the most, out of all the answers you've given me, that was the most deceptive answer you've given me all day. You need to, this isn't the time that you're not in trouble for it. We got to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Was he assaulting your son as well?
No.
When did you find out that Fabian and Jessica were active with your daughter? When did you find out? And be honest.
Not too long ago.
Not too long ago. Okay.
Because if I would have known that, I would have totally get out.
So how much were they giving her so that way they could assault her?
Probably quite a few.
They gave it to her quite a few times. Okay.
So she says she just found out because she would have made them get out. And then again, she's asked about the methamphetamine, and they say, you know, probably quite a few times.
How would they give it to her?
You just put it in her mouth.
Oh yeah, this is hard.
How did she die last night? While she was being assaulted, how did she die? It's not what killed her.
Probably contributed to it. We know for a fact that this is not what killed her. How did she die, Michelle?
Okay, let's go back. When did you find out that Fabian was having sex with your daughter, with Victoria? How long ago?
Just recently.
Just recently?
What is recently?
Like
How many days?
days, weeks?
Days.
Days?
Days.
Like a couple of days, like 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days? 2 days. Okay. And when did you find out that Jessica was also assaulting your daughter? Were they doing this together?
Yes.
Okay.
It's heartbreaking to imagine the horrors Victoria endured with no one to lean on, no one to protect her. The very adults who should have cared for her instead tortured and assaulted her. But the most shocking betrayal came from her own mother. Michelle wasn't just a bystander, she was complicit in the abuse, even finding pleasure in her daughter's suffering. How could...
Again, make your own conclusions. It's going to get worse, believe it or not. I put the trigger warning up. What we know for a fact from the autopsy, Victoria had human papillomavirus from being assaulted. She had an infection. She did not have methamphetamine in her system, and she was strangled and decapitated. Okay, all of those things did happen. Making tacos after her daughter was deceased and being decapitated in the tub, and her and Fabian having relations did happen. That's what we know so far. Okay, keep in mind that she's saying that they're going to find methamphetamine in this child's system, and there was not methamphetamine in the system. I need you to keep that in mind, and we're going to discuss this at the end, and I need you to come up with your own conclusions. So just try to take into account the interrogation. But again, this is from Real Crime Psychology. Please give them a like and subscribe.
Could a mother become the very monster her child needed protection from? To call her a mother would be an injustice to Victoria and the very meaning of the word.
How did you find out about it? Did you walk in on it? It's okay, but I need to know. Did you walk in on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were both on it.
They were both on your daughter? Okay. So 2 days ago, you find out that they're your daughter. Am I right? Okay.
Yeah.
So how would they do it?
So.
Well, at work.
You were in the room while she was being assaulted. You were there. Did you participate?
No.
Did you watch?
No.
You just watched? You were there. When your daughter was being assaulted, you were there. Where were you?
Mm-hmm.
You were in the bedroom.
Now, she has diminished mental capacity, okay? And she's answering like she at first she said that it happened while she was at work, okay? And then they get mad and stern with her, and then she says I was in the bedroom. It's like, notice how every time they ask her a question, she says an answer, and then they get upset with her and a little angry, and the answer changes.
In your bedroom or your daughter's bedroom? Okay, and where were Fabian and Jessica?
Yeah, if this
I thought they were having a cigarette, but they weren't.
What were they doing?
No.
If this is too much, please leave. Please go. Please, for the love. It's very hard to listen to, but please protect your peace. If this is too much, please feel free to leave.
No. You watched them give them her, and you knew what they were gonna do. Don't play. Let's not start playing games now, girl. They weren't having a cigarette. You knew they were in your daughter. Where were they? Your daughter. What room?
In her room.
Okay.
How did you participate? I don't think that you assaulted your daughter. Did you help hold her down? And I appreciate you being honest about what Jessica and Fabian have done. Okay. But the only thing that you're not being honest about is your involvement. Okay. So, when Jessica and Fabian were in the room assaulting your daughter, what part did you take in that act?
I let him do it.
You let them do it?
Okay. Were you having intercourse with Fabian or Jessica while they had sex with your daughter?
No.
Did you have with Fabian right after he had sex with your daughter?
Yes.
Okay.
Did Fabian put his in your daughter or in any other part of her body?
Y'all, it's
Mouth.
it's bad.
Or
I'm sorry.
well,
I could see.
what was he doing to her? I need to know.
He was going on top of her
With what?
with his on top.
Did he put his in your daughter?
Not inside, no.
Was he rubbing it in the lips of her?
Yeah.
So it penetrated the lips of her. Was he completely naked or was he clothed?
He had his shorts down with his shirt off.
And what was Jessica?
Okay, again, please protect your peace. If you need to leave, please leave. Please protect your peace.
Doing to your daughter?
She was holding her.
Lord Jesus,
How?
I need to stay here. Right.
Her arms and her shoulders. So, and her feet. Baby was holding her feet.
What were you holding? What were you holding? Be honest.
I'm being honest.
So you just watched. Yeah. You just watched. But you didn't help hold her down.
No.
Okay.
Did you, while they were doing this, did you have any physical contact with Jessica or Fabian or your daughter of any sort?
No.
Did Fabian on or inside your daughter?
On
On?
top of her stomach.
Was your daughter saying anything?
Stop.
The acts committed were so heinous that it would leave anyone speechless. What depths of cruelty did they go to, and why? It's hard to fathom that Victoria was Michelle's biological child, the child she carried for 9 months, only to give her a terrible fate. And tragically enough, that was still not the end of it. There are much more disturbing statements that Michelle is about to make.
What was Jessica saying?
Just shut up.
What was Fabian saying?
He wasn't really saying much. He was just.
And you just stood there and watched? You just let them do this to your daughter? Yes.
She was.
And then how long after he did on your daughter did he have sex with you?
Like 15, 20 minutes.
How long was Victoria alive after she was, or was she dead after she was? Did they kill her then? I need to know.
Yes.
Yes to what?
They killed.
When they killed her? And how did they kill her?
You were there. You watched it.
You know.
Explain it to me. I don't understand.
It's gonna get bad again, but keep in mind she said that first the meth is what killed her. Now it's the act that killed her. But the autopsy said she died from strangulation.
He raped her so hard she died?
He covered her mouth.
With what?
Tape.
Okay. I thought you said she was screaming.
She finally, because it's the mouth tape. If it gets wet.
Michelle, stop.
let's go back to when we were being honest. This is your girl, Victoria, who is being held down on a bed so an adult man can her.
Who killed her?
Fabian and Jessica.
How did Fabian and Jessica kill Victoria? Michelle, how did they kill your daughter?
I'm holding her down.
How are they holding her down? Because if I hold on to Corey's arms, it's not going to kill him. Where were they holding her?
See, they ask her a couple of times to answer these questions, okay? And she gives answers that don't make sense.
I don't know.
Whose hands were on her neck?
Fabian's hands, because he was on top of her.
And whose hand was on her mouth?
Jessica.
When he did it on your daughter, was she dead already? Or was she still alive?
She wasn't moving.
After he was done, did they do anything to ensure that she was dead? What did they do to make sure that she was dead, Michelle? No, that's not good enough. What did they do when they were done with your daughter?
Dude, I don't
and
know.
holding her by her neck?
I don't know.
We're way past playing any games here, girl. Did they do anything?
Okay. When you guys started having with Victoria, where did it start? In the living room or in the bedroom?
In
the bedroom?
It is.
Whose bedroom?
In hers.
In hers?
Michelle, were you clothed or were you naked?
I was clothed.
Was Jessica clothed or was she naked?
She had her top off.
And Fabian, you said he had his shorts on with his exposed?
He had them pulled down, but he had no shirt on.
And it was Victoria?
Yeah. She had her pants off.
Who took Victoria's clothes off?
Fabian took the pants off. Jessica took her shirt off.
What did you do with her underwear? What did you do with Victoria's underwear?
Took them, put them in the laundry basket.
You took them and you put them in the laundry basket. Why? What was on them?
Fabian.
What else?
Blood.
And why was there blood on them?
Because he penetrated.
Because he penetrated her.
I'm not trying to be graphic, okay? But we know that there was an infection that she had that had been there for a while. So technically, there would not have been blood from that time because unfortunately, it had already happened beforehand at some point.
And then 20 minutes later, you had with Fabian?
How long have you been assaulting your daughter?
I never assaulted my daughter.
How long have you been inviting men into your house to assault your daughter?
The only two that I know of is David and these them.
Okay. But you've allowed it.
No, I kicked him out. But then I found out about them too, and then
What did David do to your daughter?
I think so.
he was like trying to kiss her on the lips and stuff like that.
Did he
He was trying to put his fingers down there and
Did he your daughter?
no, I took her and got tested. And it came out negative.
Did you report it to the police?
Yes, I did.
Imagine what the girl must have felt when multiple men were violating and taking advantage of her every single day. She didn't have a safe place to go, and she was living amongst wolves who tore her apart time and time again. Michelle used a dating app called Plenty of Fish to garner clients who did unspeakable things
Hey,
to
Sia,
Victoria.
this is a bad
She
case.
also met David Hernandez there, and later Fabian Gonzales. But it wasn't only Victoria who fell prey to them. There was another victim who suffered at their hands, Michelle's son, Matthew. The boy mostly lived with his biological father, but on the days he lived with Michelle, he too had to face the same atrocities that Victoria had faced while she lived.
When did you find out that Fabian and Jessica were assaulting your son?
I didn't know they were assaulting my son.
We are not going We know that there's been.
She answers firmly, I didn't know that my son was being assaulted.
Contact on your son. We've been doing a lot of stuff since you guys called 911 last night. Okay. One of those things is interviewing your son and making sure that he's okay. Then what I need to know is who is assaulting your son. Be honest.
I always thought it was his father because he'd always watch in front of him and everything. And every time he would come home from his house, he would touch Victoria inappropriately. And I'd ask him where he get that from. And he would tell me, well, Daddy watches naked girls.
Michelle, you have been bringing men to your apartment to use your daughter and sexually assault your daughter. This is not the first time that this has happened. This is not the first time that your daughter has been assaulted. I'm just going to use the word because that's what it is. You were allowing men to come over and have with your daughter.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And in turn, also having with you. Help me understand that.
Firefly, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Again, if anybody needs to protect their peace, please feel free to leave, because this is very hard to listen to, and I get that. And I like I said before, I FOIA'd this case because you hear this, right? You hear all of this and you're like, oh my God, what a monster. Okay. But we're going to talk in the end more about that. But that's why I FOIA'd this case and because it's so graphic. What she says in this interrogation is because it's so graphic. But then you find out the autopsy report and what happened at court and the fact that she only got 12 years. And you're like, whoa, what on earth is going on here? And then you realize more about this. So I debated even talking about this on YouTube because it's so graphic. This person put out this video, Real Crime Psychology. Again, please go give them a like and subscribe. And that's why I'm playing it. But please protect your peace. It's hard and graphic to listen to.
What do you get out of it? Is it a turn on for you?
No.
Then help.
Because I would never do that to my daughter.
But you did last night. And the only reason that we're sitting here today, Michelle, is that it went a little further than it ever has before. This time she died. You weren't ready for the type of animals that these people were, and it went further than you anticipated. But let's start with this. How many times that what happened last night, minus her dying, how many times have you watched or that you know that Fabian and Jessica have had sex with your daughters since they've been in your house? How many times?
3 times.
Abellis, thank you so much for gifting 20 memberships. That was so sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. Those went to Tiny Grandma, Garden Critters, Kate S, Lisa Dempsey, Shelby K282, Amanda Noack Coughlin, Carrie B, Guilty of Crime, Nanny Goat, Granny to 13, ACF, Anna in Sweden, Lisa Elliott, Karen Solak, Dawn Young, B4 Blessed, Sony Photos, Carrie, Emma's Grandma, Nini Nut, and Nini Nut. If you were gifted from Abellis and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Abellis thank you. And thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. I'm going to pick y'all up on the Polar Express. Thank you so much, Abellis. That was so sweet of you. Thank you, Abellis. I really appreciate that. That was so sweet. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. I really appreciate that. There is about 15 more minutes of this, so I'm letting you know, okay? Thank you, Abella.
I think it's probably more than that.
That you watched?
Oh, sweet.
That I know about.
How many times did you watch?
There was only that one.
How many times?
Cindy, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. Those went to Megan Besechimer, Overprotected, Yvonne Feliciano, Nicely Done, and Nona Robin. That was so sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. Aw, y'all are so sweet. I'm going to grab the crazy train to pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much, Cindy, from South Florida. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. Abellis and Cindy, thank y'all so much. That was so sweet. I appreciate that. I'm going to back this up just a little bit so we get the full context of this conversation since I paused.
Than it ever has before. This time she died.
Aw.
You weren't ready for the type of animals that these people were, and it went further than you anticipated. But let's start with this. How many times that what happened last night, minus her dying, how many times have you watched or that you know that Fabian and Jessica have had sex with your daughters since they've been in your house? How many times?
Like 3 times.
I think it's probably more than that.
That you watched?
That I know about.
How many times did you watch?
There was only that one.
How many times did you watch? Be honest.
Michelle, we know you watched. How many times?
So notice she's given an answer and they continue to ask her 3 or 4 more times. Yeah, the son has been through a lot. God bless that little boy. He has been through a lot. His name is Michael. If you would, please keep him in your prayers. God bless that child.
How many times did you watch? Every time?
Mostly.
So does it turn you on when Fabian has sex with you after? Is that what it is? That I'm just trying to understand.
It doesn't.
But you have sex with them immediately after, right?
I don't know what.
Okay.
Did David come into your house and have sex with your daughter while you watched?
No.
That wasn't a very honest answer. I'm going to ask you again. Did David come into your house and have sex with your daughter while you watched?
Yeah.
Okay. How many times?
Twice.
Okay. How many other men have come into your house and had sex with your daughter while you watched? I need to know. Like I said, Victoria is dead. The only thing we have anymore is to bring her justice.
Yeah.
Glitter is Forever, thank you for sharing your milestone with us. Glitter is Forever said, rest in peace, Veronica. I'm sure you meant Victoria, and prayers for Michael. I appreciate that. And I do pray for him. Again, you know, the reason I FOIA'd this case is because you hear this and you're like, Jesus, like who as a mother does this? Oh my God. It's like literally the worst case I've ever heard of. And it is really bad. It is the worst case I've ever heard of. But I just, again, at the end, we're going to talk.
And to be frank with you, by the sound of the things that she was experiencing, it sounds like death was the easy way out for her. Because it sounds like some pretty horrible things have happened to her in her life. Human being to human being. How many other men are out there that have come into your house and have had sex with your daughter or your son? How many men have come into your house and had sex with your daughter while you watched?
We have David and we have Fabian. Who else?
And men or women, let's put it that way.
I don't have friends with much women.
Okay, so men. We have David and we know Fabian. Who else?
There's one other guy, Joshua.
Joshua what?
What's his last name? Gray.
And how many times did he come over and have with your daughter?
Once.
How many times did he come over and have with your daughter?
Once.
One time.
Mm-hmm.
Cindy, I am so sorry, sweetheart. That is horrific. That is, I'm so sorry. That's horrible. If you ever need to talk, feel free to email me. My email is allegedlyspeculating@gmail.com. Yes, she did get 12 years. And I mean, again, that's what made me FOIA this case. You hear all of this and you're like, how the hell did she only get 12 years?
How many men have had sex with your son? Or women have had sex with your son? Either or. I need to know. So he's not a victim anymore. How many men?
Two.
Who are they? What are their names?
One was David.
One was David. Hernandez? Okay. Who was the other one?
And I believe the other one is his father.
David's father?
No, Matthew's father.
You believe or you know? This is very important. Have you ever watched Matthew's father have with Matthew?
Watched.
How do you know that he has done it then?
I don't know for a fact.
Have you ever watched Matthew's dad have with Matthew?
Or Victoria?
No.
No? Okay.
Matthew's father was a man of sound mind and a true parent, unlike Michele. He wanted to save Victoria and his own son from the clutches of Michelle's evil motives. Regrettably, he was too late and was left shattered when he heard the news of Victoria's terrible fate. And this woman had the guts to blame him when she was the one plotting these crimes.
Now, again, Matthew's father, from what I've read so far in the paperwork that I have, he is exactly what the person said, a man of sound mind. He was very heartbroken when it was found out that what had happened to Victoria, and when he found out that his son had been sexually assaulted. But I mean, again, notice that she blames him, and she's asked several times about who had hurt her son. And she goes through several different names and then sticks with his father at the end.
She even went as low as giving the kids drugs to tranquilize them while strange men abused them.
So you allowed David Hernandez to have sex with Matthew?
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And that was how many times?
Aw.
Twice?
How many times did he have with Victoria?
3 times.
Was this at the same time or separate incidents?
Separate.
Okay.
Did he have with you every time?
No, not every time.
Did the way that you relax Victoria is to give her?
Linda, I do believe Michael is with his father, or was. He might be of age now. His name is Michael, I do believe. Yeah, from my reports, her son's name is Michael. David is his father.
Did you give Matthew the same thing so that way he would relax?
Mm-hmm.
What would you give Matthew to relax?
I think it was ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil? Is that like a nighttime make him drowsy kind of thing? Okay.
Sure.
Were you receiving any money from these people to have sex with your children?
No.
You did it because you enjoyed watching?
No.
Okay. Michele, we're right there.
No, you're fine.
Did you allow these people to have sex with your children because you like to watch? Be honest. Yeah. You liked watching? Okay.
Michele, are there any graphic images or videos of any of these sexual acts being done to your children?
Mm-hmm.
Are you positive?
Yes.
Is there a video of Victoria being murdered last night?
No.
Are there any videos of Matthew or Victoria being murdered by any of these men?
No.
So how did you know that David would want to have sex with your child?
Because I saw the signs that he would give to her.
Okay, so you watched them.
The signs that he would do and the things that he would do.
And then do you tell them it's okay to have sex with your children? Did you like that?
No.
Okay, so
be honest, Michele.
Michele, listen. It's a very small population of the world who's willing to have sex with a child. That's just being frank, okay? The fact that you have 3 men who in the last, I'm guessing, about a year, have come over and had sex with your children as well as you, means that you were intentionally seeking these people out and you know how to find them. So how are you doing that? How does the conversation start and end up with somebody having sex with your child in your apartment?
They asked me if I have any kids. I said I have 2.
Okay.
Miss King, I feel really bad for the neighbor too. I feel really bad because the neighbor sent her home and then she unfortunately died. My heart goes out to them too. A couple of you have pointed out that it looks like she's giving answers they want to hear. And you said like Mercedes. And then Thea Marie said she's lying, you can tell. Right. And what we have like 9 more minutes left to watch. We're going to watch it to the end, but I see that some of you are picking up on it seems like she's telling them what they want to hear or what she thinks they want to hear.
And then when they meet me, they want to meet them too.
Okay. Did you know that Fabian and Jessica both wanted to have a child?
I did not know they did. No. Then I just met Fabian just to like.
You knew Fabian did. Because that was talked about. Am I right? You knew Fabian wanted to have sex with your daughter because you guys discussed it. Am I right or am I wrong?
I didn't discuss that with him.
Yes, you did. You just told us you did. 5 minutes ago, you said that you talked to Fabian about having sex with your daughter and that you allowed it and that you watched. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. I guess sometimes I don't understand why you'll tell the truth on these big, huge things, but on little things you try to lie. And it makes no sense to me. Do you know what I mean? Okay. A couple questions. With Matthew. Did David penetrate Matthew?
No, he got a well checkup and I had him checked and he didn't.
Well, you watched. So did David have penetrate your son with either his fingers or
his finger, but not his.
So he did penetrate him
with his finger.
Would it be any different if it was with his? He's still penetrating him.
So notice she talks about having taken them to the doctor and having them checked, and that first she said Matthew was not, because she had a checkup. And then she says with the fingers, but not the other thing, okay?
Did he penetrate him with his?
She's saying no.
You do this thing when you're not telling the truth.
You're not a good liar,
Yeah,
so you might as well just keep being honest with us.
Did David penetrate Matthew with his?
Yes.
How many times? Both times?
Yes.
Did he penetrate Victoria with his?
No.
Why are you lying? You just tell us he penetrated Matthew. Why does it make it any worse that he penetrated Victoria?
We know that he did.
Did he penetrate Victoria with his David?
Yes.
Okay.
Michele had reached new, unattained heights of inhumanity. What she did puzzled even those that.
And again, he's giving his perspective, which I respect. Again, this is from Real Crime Psychology. Please give them a like and subscribe. And I understand and respect that. Just like here, we're able to share our thoughts, opinions, and speculations. And even if I disagree with you, I respect your thought, opinion, and speculation. I respect theirs as well. But notice how she's talking about this one person giving signs. She takes the kids and have them checked, and they're okay. They say nothing happened. But at some point, something did happen. And she's admitting to these horrific atrocities. But even like they said, like, okay, you tell us one thing that's really big and horrific, and then we ask you a small thing and you lie about it like you're trying to cover it up, and it doesn't make sense. And they're asking her all of these things over and over again, and it's like she says no and gives a definitive answer, but then they ask her a couple of times and she changes her answer.
Detectives who very cautiously set up a stimulating atmosphere to elicit a confession. But at what cost? While it is tragic, one might consider it a relief that Victoria's suffering ended, sparing her a lifetime of immense trauma and misery.
Before Jessica showed up at your house, she's only been there for about 5 days, right?
Mhm.
How long have you been with Fabian? How long has he been in your house?
He's been in my house for about a month,
How many times has Fabian by himself had sex with your daughter?
maybe about 3.
No, because you said, how many times did you say him and Jessica have? In the last month, how many times did Fabian have sex with your daughter? Was it every day?
Most likely.
Was it every day?
Yes.
Not most likely, not, I don't know. Did you know that he was having sex with your daughter every day?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you watch every time?
No, because I worked.
How many times did Fabian have sex with your son Matthew during the last month?
About the same time?
Every day?
I know a little bit more of the story, and we'll talk about that, but you would think so, Thea. I'm not sure if they did or not.
Was the only reason he didn't last night because he wasn't there?
Mhm.
And does Fabian penetrate Matthew with his...
Yes.
Has anybody ever filmed either your son or your daughter being...
No.
Where is Victoria's dad in all of this?
Out of the picture, he told me he had nothing to do with me or her
When?
when she was born. When I called him and told him that I was in the hospital with her.
So he's never been around.
Lord, Cindy.
Have you ever contacted him since then? Would you even know how to get hold of him?
No.
How much knowledge of all this does Matthew's dad have?
Absolutely none.
So he has no knowledge of what you're doing. Okay.
So he never participated with you in blacks with your kids?
Mm-hmm.
No. How long, years wise, how long has this been going on with men and your children?
A year? Maybe
Just
6 months?
Just a year? So 6 months to a year is how long you've been allowing these other men to come over and do what you guys have been doing.
Did you engage in any sort of activity with your children by yourself prior to these men?
No.
So how did you discover that this was something that you wanted to be a part of or take a part in? How did you get into that? Was it something you just wanted to try?
Just to see. Curious, yes.
Is this something that ever happened to you?
Not to my knowledge.
So you didn't have like a mother or a father that really assaulted you or allowed other people to assault you?
Not to my knowledge.
Look me in the eye real quick. It's just the 3 men that have had your daughter and your son.
Yes.
No more.
No.
All right, go ahead and stand up for me. How's your burger?
Good.
Pretty good? All right, go ahead and find your bag.
So Michelle, at this point, you're under arrest for a homicide.
Okay, so pay attention to this part right here. Hey, oh, look, a squirrel. This is a lot going on. You missed the worst of it, thank God. But it's a long story. You'd have to start over and watch from the beginning to kind of understand. I want y'all to pay attention to this part right here where they arrest her.
No more.
No.
All right, go ahead and stand up for me. How's your burger?
Good.
Pretty good? All right, go ahead and find your bag.
So Michelle, at this point, you're under arrest for a homicide of a child, a slew of whole other charges that I probably couldn't even list here if I wanted to. And if you need me to explain that to you, then there's no hope for it because everything we talked about, the fact that you're shocked you're going to jail is beyond me.
The detective did an exceptional job of catching.
Okay. So they arrest her and they're saying the fact that you are even shocked that you're going to jail is beyond me, right? And you see that, and all of you in chat saw that, and you're like, Jesus, like everything that could possibly happen to these children, she just admitted to. She admitted to letting men come in and do these things to her children and all of these things, right? And then you find out that she got 12 years. How on earth does somebody admit to basically pimping their children out and all of these things, giving them meth to let people hurt them and assault them, all of these things that only get 12 years. Even the police at the end are utterly shocked, right? So I hear that and I'm like, I've got to FOIA this case. I've got to find out what the hell happened here and how this woman only got 12 years. Well, we find out later or down the road, Michele is a people pleaser, okay? So as you notice, they ask her these questions several times, and at first she gives a definitive answer, but then the answer changes. They say, no, Michele, I'm going to ask you again, and I need you to tell me the truth. And when they say that, that's when everything gets horrific. That's when everything gets dark. That's when she says penetrated with the member and all of that. We don't know what was true. Most of it was not even true, okay? Most of it was the police are asking her questions and she's telling them what they want to hear. What do we know? We know that Victoria had an infection that she had had for some time. We know that she was strangled. We know that mom said she gave her all of these substances or methamphetamine, but there was no methamphetamine in her system. We know that there was a man there that had done something or tried to do something. And then Michele saw these signs and she says she took the child to the doctor and had the children looked at and nothing had happened. Okay. Evidently, people were coming in and hurting this child. She had an infection that had been there for some time. Was it Fabian? Like, had it just been happened while Fabian was there? Did these men that she was meeting on Plenty of Fish, did they somehow pick up on her diminished mental capacity and abuse her children? Because even if Fabian was abusing her, he had been there for about a month. Even if that is how Victoria got the infection that she had had for some time, Michele had seen this before. Another man had come in and had tried to kiss her daughter. She called CPS or took him to the doctor and all those things, and that man was escorted from the property. So how are these men coming across her and knowing that they can do these things to the child? And Jessica did something. We know she did something. And Fabian, we don't know what he did. We don't know what his role was in this. And we're going to talk about his role tomorrow. We're going to look at his interrogation and see what he says tomorrow. How could a mother admit to all those things and say all those things and then only get 12 years? Well, because she was saying those things because she thought it's what the detectives wanted to hear. That's why at the end, when she's eating her burger and she looks so dumbfounded and confused about being arrested, the cops are like, I don't even understand how you thought that you could just say all this and you wouldn't be held accountable. You wouldn't, like, the fact that you're shocked right now is surprising to me. Well, she's shocked because she told you what you thought you wanted to hear. And she doesn't realize that while she was telling you what you thought she wanted to hear, she's not understanding how it implements her. Do you understand what I'm saying? There was another person's DNA on Victoria's body. She did have an infection. So who was abusing her for some time? And who is this other male's DNA? And was it Fabian? Had Fabian been abusing her for a month? Was it somebody beforehand? I don't know. I don't know. We're going to look at it together and we're going to find out. There is an investigation with Fabian and we're going to look at that. I think it was you who were screaming in the comment section the whole time how messed up the detectives were. Carolina said the female detective is equally sick. Just saying, I would have never said anything. This is scary for me. Honestly, even more horrific than what happened to her children. It was one of you who was talking about, false confessions and things. That was a false confession, but Victoria had still been being hurt and abused for some time. She had an infection. Like, how did these men know to find Michele, who was abusing this child? And what happened when Jessica got there and she was abused, decapitated, and set on fire? And did Fabian abuse Victoria and then go have relations with Michele right afterwards? And did Michele know that was going on and think it was okay? I mean, I don't know. Like, all of these questions I still have. And I'm hoping that we can kind of go down this road together and try to figure it out. Now, that is the worst of the worst. That is the worst confession. It's the worst confession I'd ever seen in my life. But I don't think, other than considering what you heard in that confession, like through the autopsy, what had been happening to Victoria through some kind of men, that's about as bad as it's going to get. I don't think any of the other confessions are going to get anywhere near that bad. How did these men find her? How did they know they could abuse these children? I don't know. I don't know. But we're going to go down this road together and try to figure it out. So with that, I do appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for all the support. I know that was a hard one today. It shouldn't get that bad again. Right. That's the issue, Indy. So again, like I said, I heard that and I'm like, Jesus, what in the Sam hell? And this woman only got 12 years. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, I've got to figure out what's going on. And then you find out it's fake, but all of it can't be fake. I mean, because she was still abused. She had an infection. She had been abused for some time and somehow she got abused and decapitated and all that. So who did it? Who abused her? Who is to be held accountable for this child? Why did Michele have custody of these children if she is not even of the mental capacity, if she's not even capable to understand that she's admitting to all this stuff in an interrogation and then dumbfounded when she's arrested for it? What was true? What was not true? What did she say that could be true? And what did she say that was not true? Because some of it could have been true and some of it could have not been true and something happened. So what is it? Again, we're going to try to find out together. Granny to 13, congratulations for being a granny to 13. And thank you for saying thank you for this membership. Yeah, I mean, I don't even have it all put together yet. I'm getting information as I can afford to purchase it because it's not cheap. So we're gonna go through it together. Again, that is the worst of the worst. Like I said, I saw that interrogation was like WTAF, like what is going on here? So I'm pretty sure nothing else is that graphic again, but I needed you to understand what she's saying and how graphic what she's saying is, and then see how dumbfounded she is at the end and wondering why she's even being arrested. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, we're going to find out together and see if we can't get to the bottom of this. Linda says she definitely seems like she's mentally challenged, but I don't think she is. She worked and was a trainer in the store where she worked. I think drugs are a big part of it. I know that there was some methamphetamine, but I don't know how much she did. We're going to try to figure this out. A name here said exactly. She should have never had custody, especially if her past habit was known. Addicts do messed up things to feed it, not making excuses. No, I get it. I mean, and to be fair, I was a former addict and I have healed, and I never hurt my children, but I never would hurt my children. Even when I was using, my children were not abused or hurt, but still addicts do recover. I do want to say that, but this woman should have never had custody of these children ever. Because these children were abused. Both of them were abused at some point. And if men were seeking her out on Plenty of Fish and they somehow knew that they could abuse these children, how did they know? How did she not see? How did Michael's dad not know? Like, I don't know. I don't know how you have children with this woman and then you don't know that she's not exactly mentally there. Now, I don't think that you would ever in a million years think that something could happen like that, but something did happen. The child had an STD. Like, for some time, the autopsy doctor said. So what happened? I need to know, All right. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for getting through that with me. I needed you to see so you understand the whole situation. And we'll go through Fabian's interrogation tomorrow. Thank you all again for the support. I love you all. If nobody has told you, you are important, you are special, and you are loved. And if that was a lot to take in, I completely get it. If you need to email me, feel free to do so. My email is allegedlyspeculating@gmail.com. I hope y'all have a good Friday, and I will see y'all tomorrow. And again, I'm working on getting everything together so that we can do a members only live stream, and we're going to make some goat's milk lotion and goat's milk soap tomorrow evening. Y'all have a good day. Bye.
Listen up, I gotta tell you, there is something you should know.